though.
Welcome, SASANs, to this week's episode of SASANs and Dragons, our homebrew house rule infested game of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I am Magnus Beasticus, your dungeon master for the evening, and you have all joined us on what might be the most momentous day for Team Sasa, especially SASANs and Dragons. This may very well be the last episode of this season. Maybe second to last. We'll see how this one goes. You'll tell us, when it releases. Before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to a faithful fan who makes us very happy and proud. Thick Panda. We noticed you. Thank you so much for your viewership. It means a lot to us. Let's get another year under our belt. Here's to Descent into Averageness, our next campaign. See you there.
Yeah. Good promotion. Love the energy. Descent into Averageness.
How are we
It's called
supposed to be
Descent into
confident?
Averageness, all right?
Okay, I see where you're going.
It's clearly what you're
What will be the most epic campaign of mediocrity of all time? Second only to this one, or first to this one. Anyway,
we all go to law school.
without further ado, and possibly for the final ado, let's roll those character intros.
Thank God.
I'm Thunky Beerbot, and don't let my facial hair fool you. I am a female mountain dwarf druid. I come from a long line of beer brewers, hence the name Beerbot. I had a mostly normal upbringing in the mountains of northern Melibrius, and I've always had an affinity towards animals, not so much the ruling races. I have many fond childhood memories of wandering the local forests in search of new furry friends. Eventually, on the advice of my parents, I enrolled in druidic studies and began honing my spellcasting abilities. My instructor, Elder Dalbrook, was a highly logical man and taught me my most important life lesson, that even though nature is beautiful, it cannot exist without chaos. There isn't a day that goes by that I do not repeat that message to myself. I understand that not all beasts can be tamed, and sometimes I will have to battle one. I don't like to admit it, but this happens more often with my new family, Oren's Obliterate. But I will stop at nothing to ensure their safety, and I may cause some chaos in the process.
If you were to gaze upon the mysterious property of Orenbelle's finest artificer, you would find a very large mansion met by a garden with superbly sculpted shrubbery. At any given time, there is but only one worker which may be found on these grounds, and why that is me, Crow. I am one of Master Cumentus's many creations. The majority of my being is made up of organic, plant-like material. The rest is mechanical. There are many duties for which I was created for, some of which include cooking, cleaning, obtaining materials and ingredients, assisting with laboratory duties, removing trespassers from the property, acting as the master's personal bodyguard when in town, and closest friend, always. These may be some of my regular duties, though Master Cumentus mentioned that I am fully loaded with great purpose and grand potential. I have yet to discover the meaning behind those words. Maybe he was referencing the inaccessible areas of my internal systems. Or maybe he was just trying to make me feel better about my self-realized lack of greater purpose in this world. Or maybe it is a metaphor for the many journeys he planned for us. Either way, I seek to discover the true potential of my being.
Hello. I am Varkir Invictari. I am an Aasimar of the clan Invictari at Barathor's Reach. To explain more about myself, I must first explain the world we live in, full of angels and monsters that toy with mortal lives like cheap coins. I sought out to rid us of the need to constantly appease these beings of considerable power. Even if all the world is my enemy, they will thank me when the work is done, for I believe in the strength of my fellow mortal. We have turned the tides of battle with nothing but one act that has spiraled out to a glory that is yet to be rivaled in this day and age. Kalinor, my right hand, my sword and shield. Altero, my left, my bow. All the others were dear to me, just as my mother and father. The angel that speaks to me in my dreams warns me of the dangers of what I do. But I know my path is virtuous, though I cannot say the same for the company I now find myself with. They may represent the truest of dangers, or the brightest of futures. Time will tell.
My name is Herchek Bane. I am from the clan the Frenzied Bear, whose home is at the northeastern part of the Shattered Peaks. Growing up, I was split between two tribes, fighting over the land we both tried to call our own. My tribe's battle mentality was of pure carnage during warring, praising an unknown entity that I personally detested. My father, Urkhelm Bane, was fourth in line to be chieftain, known in the tribe to be a fierce warrior on the battlefield, and to have saved many lives in combat over the ages. He has but one mighty secret, which is where I come in. Born from a forbidden love with a mighty warrior woman from the clan the Roaring Tempest, my tribe's rivals. My mother, Rakir Stormwill, the Roaring Tempest. She was a brutal warrior on the battlefield and a kind priestess to those in need. Her deity, Regentia, as a weapon as well as her shield, is the goddess I now follow. After years of secrecy, I could no longer hold back my rage. During a battle with a fellow clansman, I unleashed my storm-bound fury. Luckily, through the deeds of my father and the tribe, I was not sentenced to death on the spot. I was, though, cast out from my clan, exiled, never to return or show my face around them. My title in the clan removed from me. One day I will return to my homeland and take over my clan to show them that there can be peace amongst all tribes. Unity is what I seek for the Goliath race, and I will achieve that goal, even if it takes my life.
Okay. Alright. Woo! When last we left our heroes of Oren's Obliterate, their nemesis had finally revealed herself. Koltessa Von Mar, the blue-clad beauty, the sealer of Rahum, the thunder elemental, destroyer of their home city of Orenbelle in a forsaken time, the waker and consumer of Satun, the angel of twilight oblivion. And now, the soothsayer of a copper nation, she stands before them and their allies, holding the black Let me try that one more time. Alright. When last we left our heroes of Oren's Obliterate, their nemesis had finally revealed herself, Koltessa Von Mar, the blue-clad beauty, sealer of Rahum, destroyer of their home city of Orenbelle, in a different time. The waker and consumer of Satun, angel of twilight oblivion, and now the soothsayer of a copper nation. She stands before them and their allies, holding her black broken blade of Satun in the air. She summons tens, many, a very large number of
tens, not tens of thousands.
Well, because I can't say hundreds, because it's not hundreds, but it's like, you know, in between 30 and 50 mirror images of herself sort of pulse and shift out of her and take places in poised positions of attack. I will allow everybody one reaction. So you have encountered this attack before, and you know that if essentially it is many of her forms just coming at you and pummeling you. So you're allowed one reaction. As you guys are thinking of your reactions, hold on, I am going to do a brief review of the battlescape before us. Okay, so all of these are active on the battlefield except for the dead beholder here. The red bat-looking creatures are giant bat-shaped allies called Unagoths. This is the Unagoth queen. The yellow, little baby-looking things on the ground, they're not on the ground. They are sort of flying, bulbous, demonic-looking cherub babies with veins of fire arcing up their bodies and stretching across their form. They look very disgusting. Koltessa, right here, contrary to her golden armored model, she is a sort of a lithe blue-clad monk sorceress with blue hair and a blue feather, holding the black blade. Crow is right by her. Herchek is right in front of her. This red form right here is Fabian Wild, the captain of the ship that broke apart, having them descend onto the stone ruins that they're currently on. He has transformed into a fire Ifriti. Right here is Silnefris, the wind elemental spirit, next to Varkir. And in the back is Spectromir. Also, this model is completely different. Spectromir is like this very dark, sleek, armored female half-orc, purple skin, two long swords, and behind her is a sort of meager-looking older Aarakocra, feathered wings with a bow poised and at the ready. And this is the scene that we pick up on now. Really, the only bad people are Fabian and Koltessa currently. Oh, I'm sorry, and all the chirps.
No, they're dead.
That's the sound that they make. Okay, so you all have one reaction as you see all of her forms shifting onto the battlefield. You see and portions of them focus on you as individuals, just shift, and you know that this mass is coming towards you. What do you do?
Sweeping blade strike.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was gonna prepare just pretty much like a dodge, a monkly dodge. And like close my eyes, feel the wind, and then like prepare to dip.
Okay, sure. Roll I would say an acrobatics check at advantage. Her check. What are you doing?
A sweeping sword strike.
Just attacking?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll to attack at advantage. Barkir?
So Nerfs is right next to me?
Yes.
Can I just ask her to help all of us out? Like, she has a win, so...
You can. Yeah,
so
of course.
I guess I'll...
Roll a persuasion check at advantage.
25 to hit.
Okay.
Let's see what do I have.
I'd like to do an air sweep battering tail.
Okay. One combatant that I forgot to cover is Thunky. Thunky is not in her normal female dwarven shape. Thunky is a large-sized, teal-winged Lunagale creature, homebrew creature. Imagine a teal cockatiel with a huge battering tail.
Well, I guess that counts still.
Yes.
What's that Pokemon? Articuno?
Articuno?
Articuno.
See.
Pretty much looks like
Mudafuko?
Articuno.
This one I guess.
And the Lunagales are the guardian creatures of the floating forest of ages past, companions to Silnefris.
16?
16 for persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay. And just roll to attack at advantage.
23.
What did you roll, Crow?
32.
Okay. As these forms of Koltessa shift out, lock onto you, and start their sort of zipping approach towards you, just beelining many portions of them towards every individual, every combatant against her on the battlefield. Crow, how do you want to just sort of like, as they're coming towards you, with the ticking in your head, it almost is as though that you hear the clock reinforces how quickly you can now move, and it's almost as though they slow down, and as punches come straight towards your sternum, you just quickly dodge out of the way. One of the Koltessa's corrects her trajectory coming towards you, you B-twist out of her kick that's sweeping straight for you. As another one is coming down on a top with her elbow, you mid B-twist use both of your hands to push the elbow to the side, sending her whiling off or reeling off, disappearing and shattering in her form. You take no damage. Her check. You, having experienced this before, and having almost had enough of Koltessa's fast movements and just banishing you, taking advantage of you in certain moments. You are holding the Starlight Conqueror. You are Herchek Bane, champion of Regentia, and you notice Koltessa's original form cough, and from the cough you hear this and lightning and thunder exits from her mouth with smoke following, and she's muttering to herself, Regentia, you pack a punch, as many of the forms already are in mid-strike, just small micro explosions as maybe 1/3 of her forms disappear from the battlefield, rushing towards people, causing electric effects and a thunderous raucous around everywhere. As you take on the 3 that are still coming after you in one huge sweep, they can't move away fast enough. You take out 2 with another one jumping and spinning around, embedding the Starlight Conqueror in the back of one rushing towards you, her disappearing. As you're looking around and more are shuffling towards everybody else. Varkir, you see this attack, and with your logical brain, can't conceive that you would be able to dodge most of this or attack. You can't really come up with a counterattack. So you look at Silnephrus, whose wind is pressing against your shoulder and shifting your clothing. It's hard for you to get her out of, hard for you to not think about her in this moment. And you say,
Oh, I guess I don't normally do this to Celestials and Elementals, but would you be willing to help for a minute? Just help me dodge this attack. I will die if you don't.
There's logic in what you say. My help is yours. And she disappears, and you see, almost as though a shift in current on the battlefield, most everybody shifts at least a few inches as one pulse of wind shifts outwards, sending Koltessa's forms sort of, again, reeling off course or impacting into the stone ground prematurely before they hit their targets. One does still attack you with a 16. Unfortunately, she was focused on helping everybody else. You just take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Couldn't I just held up your shield?
I don't have my shield.
He also just sort of rolled really low.
Could have sacrificed.
Funky, in you have a
haven't.
newfound
Oh, it's
sense
already
of
dead.
agility and power as a Lunagale queen. This is a being in form that, out of everything you've ever experienced, is ascended to a level that you just feel incredible with every move you make. Everything is intuitive. You have been an Unagoth before. This is an Unagoth, 10S plus. It's the next level of Unagoth, certainly, as you are shifting your wings so elegantly and sort of with enough prowess that you dodge out of the way of one while arcing your tail around and slamming it out of existence as you continue the arc and almost like reeling your wings, continuing this circle of bludgeoning force, this whirlwind of destruction as Koltessa, 4 of them just get obliterated. And you feel the wind from Silnephrus help you in this, where she's pushing different forms of Koltessa into your tail.
Good.
You see Spectromere throw her blade out in front of her, and a Koltessa stops in her tracks and just shatters. It's almost as though her entire form, the light that comprised her, was destroyed out of existence. She does another one, shatters, but a Koltessa form gets up to her and actually just kisses her on the cheek, laughs, and disappears as another one punches her in her gut. And Spectromere,
Low blow.
doesn't quite succeed as well as you all. Yeah, where her air is knocked right out of her. Some of the Unagoths, we'll just do quick rolls for them. One Unagoth gets bludgeoned to death, unfortunately.
You monster!
As
This one?
it's this one, and the Queen Unagoth screeches. Just this.
That
No, that's a Lunagale. Okay, Unagoths may be twisted Lunagales, but
one? I was kidding.
yeah. So, anyway, Queen Unagoth screams while taking and fighting off her own Koltessas. One giant wing unfurls, batting one to the side. Koltessa sort of uppercuts the tuft of hair on the bat's chest, shifting it a little bit as the Unagoth corrects its course and just uses the mass of its body to like almost body slam as Koltessa, as it's still on the ground and has the use of its feet, is a bit more agile this time around. Another Unagoth takes... still looking pretty good, but you see it fight off one Koltessa and more with their single impacts sort of break a portion of the wing, but it can still fly. And Quenzel... Why do you keep closing? iPad, I need you. Sorry about this, guys. I guess think about what you want to do in the meantime. Ooh.
What?
Well, I think it's gross too, Remy.
You see...
Yeah.
Take it. You see Quenzel's form behind Spectromere purposefully, as Spectromere will go out of her way to take out a Koltessa that is flying straight towards Quenzel. 2 arrows will fly under Spectromere's armpits and through the gap in between her head and her shoulder and impact Koltessa's coming to Spectromere, and it's this sort of like dynamic shift of teamwork, but one Koltessa does sort of slide underneath Spectromere into this sort of low horse stance punch into Quenzel's wing, dealing a bit of damage. Oh, actually quite a... You hear the audible crunch that adds to the cacophony of thunderous sounds. Oh! Okay, so next up is her check as Koltessa's toes touch the ground from being raised from summoning all of these now completely disappeared images of herself.
Oh, she's right next to me.
Yes, and remember you have the, for this phase of combat, all of the NPCs, the non-player characters in this fight, you guys can have assist you in your attacks. This is to help speed up the game and as well as help accentuate your moves if you want to. So you can like have one help you and get advantage on your attacks or increase your AC or you can come up with remember what they've done in the past and use that history to just ask something of them or shout something at them to do something. But when you call upon the assistance of one NPC, their assistance is no longer available to anybody else.
And I will not ask for the NPC's help then. I feel like everybody else could benefit a little bit more, maybe. But in a blind rage, I don't even pay attention to Fabian anymore. I'm attacking Koltessa. Straight up.
Okay.
With the combo.
Okay.
I don't like your look. 17, 19.
19 just hits.
Nice. I mean, sorry, it'll be a lot higher. It was +4. So 22.
Hits.
Oh, it's almost a natural 20, you piece of paper!
You piece of paper!
Second one is 18.
18 just
Oh, that
hits.
Oof. Jesus Christ.
No.
Oh, that's terrible. 5, 10.
Remember.
What's the initiative order?
28.
Fabian is next. As you see her check in his swirl of attacks towards Koltessa, Fabian is sort of preparing his next thing. And then Thunky, then Varkir, then Crow.
And roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, she is going to actually roll your damage first.
7.
Roll all of your damage.
So first hit was 28. Second hit was 29.
For damage?
Yes.
Okay, so she's going to use one of her reactions. She is going to divert your blow into Varkir, who is 5 feet.
I'm not 5 feet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Into Crow, who is 5 feet away. So she is so close to you. She gets even closer, grabs your arm with both of her with actually one of her hands. She's still holding the blade, and she manipulates your body,
Opposing
leans
strength
over,
check.
and you take half of the damage from the first attack.
I uncanny dodge that to take half of the damage.
Okay.
So that's half of 14 and half 7. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. Well, like 3 and then some radiant. That doesn't really affect you.
So it's 7 points for the first attack. Then?
Yes, 7 points for the first.
Oh, I'm sorry. She doesn't take any damage from the first attack. What's the second attack?
29 points of damage.
I have a system.
And then I'm guessing she's immune to lightning or something. Is she a god?
So as she does this matrix move, arcs her body backwards, takes her hand and shifts it and manipulates her force as you attack Crow. You lean back and sort of fake her out going in one direction, and then she jumps to the side as you slash across her arm. The light comprising her hand that you took from her sort of like phases in and out, like, and as the pink lightning follows, and in your mind you see exactly where it's going to go. It's like she looks at you, looks at where you were looking, and then just phases out of the way. So quick you can barely sort of see the connective movements, and she does not take that damage.
She's cheating.
You have your movement if you want to chance leaving.
Right here.
Okay, Fabian is up, and he is going to reel his leg back, kick rocks off of the ground. The rocks get scraped up, and in the sparks, this torrent of fire reels out. So in a cone in front of it, actually he's gonna walk back a little bit, and he's gonna get you as well, Crow. He's just gonna fucking kick fire at you guys as this scrape of fire rolls across the ground.
Casual.
Everybody make a dexterity saving throw.
Except for me?
Except for you. You're in the
Okay,
air.
good.
18.
Hey, look at you.
18?
Yeah.
You're not a part of it because you're directly in front of Koltessa. He wouldn't attack her.
Cool.
Sorry.
And then roll Nephros.
Got too aggressive.
Natural 20.
Beats it. Natural 20? Okay.
All right, 4.
4? All right.
No.
Then they roll lower. 5, 9, 10, 16 points of fire damage. That's
I'm
all.
Dead.
You're dead?
Yes.
Oh, that was just the amount that you needed to.
Can
to
I
fall.
that was
can I
way
try
over
and I know I used my reaction, but with my natural 20, and since I'm in front of him, can I try and reduce damage by, I don't know, absorbing some of it or something, deflecting it with monk
Even
stuff?
if you took a D6 so I'd still die.
What about half the damage? That's as low as I will go. Effectively, he will make it so you succeed.
I would have 1 point of health. Don't even
So,
do that.
if you want to use your Cumentus's gift, you can.
I'll use it. I'll use it to deflect as many of the rocks as I can with like conjuring up some of my own force to divert.
All right,
the rocks.
I got it. Don't worry. Fabian goes, insignificant pest. Kicks this huge torrent of flame up at you guys as the rocks, the pebbles turn into almost rolling balls of fire. Crow.
I spin my scythe really quickly.
Yeah, because you're already on the periphery of the attack anyway. You're not in the central force of it. The end of the line would hit you, and you take one step back, spinning your blade as it's creating enough wind to sort of change the trajectory, or at least prevent you, from being assailed by it with a natural 20. You look across and see Herchek with his red gauntlet. You rolled high, right?
Yeah, 18.
Shit, I'm sorry. You were not even a part of it. You see Silnephris
What was I doing?
disperse. Nothing, I'm sorry. I thought you were in a different position. You see Silnephris disperse, and the fire just roll past her, and you see Varkir trying to look for different ways to get out, but in the time it takes for him to think, this torrent of fire is rolling at him, and you feel that tactile sensation from the clock in your brain, and you're trying to work out exactly what it does, and you sort of, I guess, press it, if you will, and the flame slows down. Everybody across the battlescape, the sounds are entirely not muted, but it's almost as though they're in a stasis. Like, if you hear something mid-swing, there's this constant in the air. There's the perpetual sound of the batting of wings around you, and you see Varkir about to be consumed by this flame. Blood pouring from his body on his footsteps on the ground. There's this small pool of blood, and you leap forward in this time, sort of noticing the time has stopped for you. Take your cloak, sort of jump in front of him, spin the cloak off of you, catch some of the flame, and as time continues, you take essentially the amount of fire that was about to impact Varkir and direct it off course, and now your cloak is gone. As it's crumbling into fire. Next.
That's okay, you can break it off my model.
As everything else has been. Okay, that's Fabian.
But you're at 1 health point now?
Yes, yeah. One,
You're not looking
1
good.
HP. Yeah,
Some still scatters past and gets him, but not enough to take him down. So you no longer have that reaction this turn, and we'll get to that when it comes. Okay, Thunky, you're up.
I'm gonna fly over. 10, 20. Yeah, I definitely make it. And then I'm gonna battering tail the shit out of Koltessa from behind her. Like swipe her this way. I'm a Luna Gale.
If healing was of interest to you, you have a method to heal.
Look at that. Hold on. Damn, okay. Perfect. I'm gonna go right over to here. Let's see. 10, 20. No, wait, 5. Can I would like to use Gale of Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna bat my wings in a 60-foot long path so that it only hits these people and not Koltessa. Can I do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you see this for cinematic effect. There wouldn't be a shadow because of how you guys are pretty much already in a cloud encompassed zone. This vast shadow passes overhead as you see the wings of Thunky's new teal Lunagale bird form with her back stretched, facing the ground, flying backwards. She arcs down in a round, down towards you, Varkir, and as her body curls up and rights itself, her wings press forward at the same time. So she just like Gainer flapped this gust of wind, and you feel this cold and pleasing press of air push through you as pushing all of the stone floor beneath you up and displacing it. Vines are curling out of the ground and growing as flowers pop up, small bushes in a line 60 feet long. As you look down, nothing is growing on you, but a lot of wounds are healed for
22 points of health to everyone in that line. Can I also put that towards Silnephris if she needs it?
Unfortunately,
she's
no,
slightly
that
off.
wouldn't make Silnephris.
That's fine.
You can sort of call to her or anybody else in support if you want to. Like, your thoughts are very sensitively connected to Silnephris and the Unagoths.
Like, could I tell her, like, get in line? And then she'll get in line, and then I can blast my wings.
Yes, but that will use her move for the entire... That will, like, use her effectiveness for this round.
Oh, she's probably fine.
If you want to heal her, then that might be super useful. She is looking good.
Nah, she's fine. And then I'm gonna fly back up. Perch. Not perch, but find a good vantage point from the air.
Koltessa just reaches her hand out as a vine wraps around it, growing out of the cobblestone, and she rips it out, almost as though she's like, yeah, almost got me.
I'll do a menacing screech, but it's not my actual screech. It's a bonus action.
There's nothing
screech.
that you can do that sounds menacing with this creature.
Fine.
It's just like,
Okay, good. I'll do that like ironically at her. You
just
suck,
eyes locked
bitch.
on her. Okay, next up is Varkir.
I guess I'm up.
Oh, coming over there. I didn't know you went over there.
I'm gonna go and attack. Come on.
I wanted to make sure you wrote down your plus 22 to your weird math shenanigans over there.
What the?
Weird math shenanigans.
Yeah, he's got like triangle math going on. He's got triple line math. A bunch of X's.
I'm going to go up to Fabian
My
and
assistant.
actually, yeah, go up to Fabian. Yeah, and then the slash him twice.
Do you want to call upon the assistance of any of your comrades? Quenzel can get you back from afar with arrows or assist you with wind. So can still Nephris.
Yeah.
You have seen Spectromir and her light antics in the
Yeah.
past.
I mean, I'll ask. Oh no, I'll leave that for somebody else to do something with that.
You guys are very kind.
I already used Silnephris for that one reaction.
Oh,
so
true. Silnephris wouldn't even be able to be used for this one.
It's like, so I'm just gonna go to the side of Fabian that Quenzel's on, yeah, and attack him from there. Like, if I can make it over there, I guess.
That's not very cute.
Not that close to the chair, but like almost directly under Thunky, almost. Like, there we go, about there.
You have 10 feet of attacking
Are you
distance,
sure? Are you
technically.
sure? Remy, you don't want him to move you a little bit further?
Little
Remember, you
closer,
have the
maybe.
ring.
A little closer, maybe?
Oh, whatever. Now I'll attack. I'm attacking Fabian's buddy. Yes.
Just make Magnus
Are you
get up
using
and
the
down,
ring?
Up and down.
I
Do I
think
have
that
to?
it is there's no disadvantage to using it. Like, you don't use it up. It's literally just your attack distance increases pretty much permanently by 10 as long as you're wearing the ring.
No. Alright, I guess I'll do that then. Yeah, I'll use that feature and stretch arms, showing him and hit him with my sword twice.
With your arms stretched out.
It's like Michael Jordan in the end of Space Jam, where his arm outstretches, but instead of dunking, he's slashing Fabian twice.
So 19 and 20.
One of the cherubs is like, "This is D&D World!"
19 and 20, not natural.
Both hit.
Where are all the squirrels?
No call was made.
That's what I kind of miss.
Esmeralda doesn't
Screaming squirrels.
deal with the floating forest.
She knows better. She's a smart queen.
I wonder if she deals with screaming
1d2
squirrels
points
all
of
day.
damage.
Probably.
That's all up.
Yep.
Any bonuses or any
That's how they
additions or anything like that?
communicate.
That's it, 22. Yep. That's it with everything added.
It's like their war cry
Yeah.
before they go into battle.
Battle for the nuts.
Okay, Varkir runs across the flame-scraped, now vibrant, gardened battlescape and unleashes 2 attacks with his arms stretching and whipping out. Fabian tries to dodge them, but due to the elasticity of Varkir's arm, sort of fakes him out and twists around and slashes in an unexpected display. 22 points of just slashing damage, straight up.
Yeah, just slashing.
Straight up.
Okay, straight up. Varkir. Sorry, Crow, you're up.
And he's marked. Again.
So if he attacks anybody but you, it's at disadvantage.
Yeah. But
Alright.
That's, yeah.
I'm gonna run up to Fabian while looking at Quenzel and do like one of those motions to try
Okay.
and trigger him to shoot at Fabian. And hopefully, I don't know, like lower his AC or pin his foot to the ground, or maybe just make him weak as I attack
So
him.
what would
from
you
the
like?
front.
More damage in assist to your own attack or disadvantage on Fabian?
I said disadvantage on Fabian.
Okay.
Because my goal is to try and knock him down.
Okay. Then so whatever you do to knock him down will have to be an opposing check, and it'll be a disadvantage for Fabian. So however you describe
Right.
it.
So I'm gonna do the visual here. I would like as one of those, in martial arts movies where somebody jumps up in the air, kicks rotates, kicks, and maybe does a double kick. So like basically I'm doing unarmed strikes, but I'd like them to be in the form of kicks for cinematic effect.
Okay, you see, as you sort of like look over to Quenzel and direct him towards Fabian, Quenzel like, "You got it, buddy!" He puts away the bow and arrow, and you're like, and he sort of spins around and flaps both of his wings as this spiral gust of wind shifts along the battlefield and grasps Fabian and tilts him back as one leg goes up into the air. And he looks towards Quenzel with a menacing stare as you jump up. Go ahead and roll to attack.
The first one is a 24. The second one is a 15.
First one hits, second one misses.
Alright, and then I'm gonna, with that, I'm gonna use Fury of Blows. So 2 more of them.
All right.
First one is a 27. Second one is a 15.
The first 2 have both hit. Second 2 have both miss.
So I'm gonna roll damage. And he's got to roll a 15 to beat the dex save. Oh snap!
Fails.
22 points of damage.
First, these are all kicks. All of them are kicks. Your first is just this leaping, this leap. What's it called? The kick where you're in the air, one outstretched leg, like Karate Kid kick.
That's what it's called.
That impacts his chest and throws him off balance even more. With the shift in his own body weight, your second leg lurches out to continue the attack and just gently glides across his abdomen. As you pull your legs back, twist your body into a knee, and then twist your body once more to him just falling down on the ground, and your leg similarly just scrapes across his abdomen as he is just in free fall as you're trying to just get as many attacks on him as possible. And he is on the ground.
I would say I would try and combat roll into a 3-point recovery behind him. Right. Yeah. Oh.
By the cherub?
Yeah, it closes, yeah.
Okay, landing into a backwards roll, then pushing yourself off as your shoulders hit the ground, and sliding backwards next to what seems to be less menacing cherub.
Friendly cherub.
Okay, you see one of the Unigoths, you see one of this Unigoth flying overhead, who seems a bit more distant from we'll put them right here, who seems a bit more distant from the battlefield. With a closer look, you can see that they have a form on their back. The Denebron garments of Curtis Claymore, the nightmare scientist, for lack of a better name or term, is not really moving. The Unigoth just seems like they're keeping them safe on the periphery of the battlefield.
So did I. I was like, who's that guy again? Oh yeah, we went on a journey with him.
So this cherub is going to Crow and Quenzel roll dexterity saving throws as it starts to frothing acidic saliva spills from their mouth as their cheeks blow out on either side, being highlighted by orange fire from the inside. What'd you roll?
15.
Just barely making the DC. You and Quenzel used the rest of the flap of his wings to change the air in front of him to just push the wind aside, igniting it, half shoving it, and you both take half of 7 points of damage. So three points of fire damage as some of it just licks off of the primary elemental force. And this cherub is going to get a little bit closer, and you see them start to sort of weave back and forth, and their body gets larger. The veins streak more vividly, the fire veins streak more vividly across their bulbous form, almost as though they are it is difficult for them to hold their shape together, as it seems like fire is roiling around inside. This cherub is going to go over and try and grab onto the queen. And fails. As the queen just bats her wings fervently and just sends the cherub away, purely with the force of her wings. And the last one her check, roll a dexterity saving throw.
Normal advantage.
At advantage.
Ooh, both amazing rolls. A 10.
Okay, you take 6 points of fire damage.
Ow.
As it just blows this torrent of fire at you. Next up, her check went. All of you guys went. Ooh. Actually, here's what we'll do. Who would it be? Thunky. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Where do you even see that?
Dexterity is +5. It's got a 20 dexterity.
But I thought it was a saving throw. Isn't that separate?
Oh. No. Don't you just roll dexterity? Add your modifier?
If they are proficient in the saving throw, then they would add their
I
proficiency.
see, that's why it wasn't there. Okay, never mind. Yeah, 14.
Okay. No big whoop. No big whoop.
Just take out like 3 of those D6s or whatever you're rolling over there. Just take out like 3 or 4 of them. You don't have to roll all of them.
Of course I don't. I don't have to roll all of them.
It's fine, I made it.
Yeah, they're all ones.
You take 39 points of bludgeoning damage, and you hear before you see, your play on a carefree life is most entertaining. I am envious. As this, everybody sees a sort of like explosion of feathers come off of the back of Thunky's Lunagale form, and Koltessa's bright blue form with her fist inside of the Lunagale rips her fist out, twists, and disappears back into place where she was. Next minions. All right, now it is her actual turn. And ooh, okay. Interesting. She will take an actually no, she doesn't need to move. Koltessa sidesteps you, her check, and you see her eyes dart from you to behind you on both sides, left of your shoulder, right of your shoulder, or left of your head, right of your head. Looks back at you and smiles, and you see this rainbow effect of colors in front of her, and she just presses her hand out forth. And let me see what color it's
Probably decapitated now.
I mean, isn't Fabian's right behind her, him as well?
Yeah, he is. Make a Constitution saving throw. Yikes. Oh, I'm sorry. Make a Dexterity saving throw. Her check. Crow, Fabian,
29 natural.
the Cherub, Spectromere, Quenzel.
Oh boy.
What check?
Dexterity saving throw.
Is Quenzel not over here? Or is
This is Quenzel. The form is very not accurate, or the model.
Oh.
Quenzel, cocked.
I thought that was Spectromere because of the red and I don't know. Yeah.
Failed. Everybody, all of the NPCs fail.
21.
21? Her check?
29 natural.
Okay, so both of you succeed. And her fingers dance between different pure colors before it settles on an indigo that highlights around her entire palm. She forces it, and you just feel this pulse of, I would say, absent blank energy pass through you. You don't see any effect of it other than it's hard to move very briefly before your breath is caught in your throat, and then and it just passes right through you. And you look around you, Fabian is on the ground, not moving at all. Quenzel is with his wings in this sort of wild upright position, looking at the cherub in this freaked out form, also frozen. Spectromere, both blades at her side in this attacking fierce stance, frozen. The cherub, frozen. All of them behind you are not moving currently. Okay.
Got lucky.
Her check, you're up.
Nice.
Real quick, I was picturing her spinning a twister. With the little arrow and the colors.
With the little arrows and the colors.
Right hand indigo.
Yeah,
All right. We're doing the old combo again. We're gonna wail into her.
Okay.
Just keep it going, keep it going. 21 for the first.
Hits.
Oh god. And 18 for the second one. We make it.
Which ones did you roll? So 3. What do you add to that?
13.
Yeah.
I had 5.
You had 5.
Yeah.
But are you adding 10 to your damage?
Yes.
Okay, so then you take away 5, right?
My total to hit is +9, so actually it'd be 17. Sorry.
Okay, that one fails.
Fails. Fuck. But the first one was 21.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then for my bonus action, as I'm rolling damage here,
It's actually pretty cool.
24 points of damage. Bludgeoning damage to Bagana.
Super cool. 24?
Yeah, 24.
All right.
And then for bonus action, I'm going to activate the belt, coating my skin to give me +2 to AC until my next turn. All right, till I take damage of any kind.
Okay. All right. Okay, so... Perfect. And what is that? What does that make your AC?
I believe it's a
16.
Yeah, 16.
Okay. Lurching forward and slicing downward, she confidently tries to catch it with her 2 fingers, and you slice into her hand and rip it out. It's about 2 inches down, separating her hand now. She clutches in and punches the blade with your next attack, sending it offwards. You spin around, correct the force of your blade, gaining control over it again, and then look down towards your belt as this green pulse of like 3 different, familiar only through the myths that you've heard from them of your lineage, like walk out of your belt confidently and then get absorbed by you as you're now glowing this sort of like green glow, and your movements shift in. Every time you move, it's like there is a silhouette of 2 other forms. That makes sense? It's like the Necromonger from...
Ooh, nice.
That's how I pictured
From Riddick.
Koltessa's attacks.
Hers, yeah, similar.
What color is her blood?
Koltessa's blood?
Yep.
Whatever Aasimar blood color is. I think it's normal human. We'll
Right.
say it's like a radiant red. It's like neon red. To you know, juxtapose her blue.
Good.
Bleed magenta.
Fabian is up, and he is going to try and break this. And he's just like yelling. He's like, you see his muscles pulsating in every direction. He's like, just yelling while he's on the ground before he. It's almost like he's working against gravity that's 100 times more for him than anyone else, as he's pushing himself up and righting himself. And that, unfortunately, is his turn. Yes. And Thunky, you're up.
I'm gonna fly down again. And then try to hit her this direction with my battering tail.
Okay. Do you want to call anybody to help you? You feel as especially in your current Lunagale form, you feel very sensitive to the currents of the wind around you, and you can sense Silnephris' essence in those currents. And it's almost as though, like, if you wanted to accentuate any of your moves or fly faster, or shift the wind in any certain direction, you'd be able to with a thought. With any other
like,
comrade, you'd be able to do something kind of in a similar vein.
I'll be like, Silnephris, give me a boost. And then like maybe it'll like power batter tail her.
Okay, so do you want added damage or an added chance to hit her?
Added damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
Is it too late to change?
It's too late, yeah.
13.
As you arc your form around Koltessa with your tail crescenting around your motion, ending in the impact of Koltessa, she, with her back turned towards you, still bringing her hand away from her check, it's like she's not even noticing, so you're filled with confidence. But as soon as your tail sweeps down, breaks, or your tail feels the shattering of the ground as pieces of rock and debris shotgun out from your tail blast. But as you look down in confidence that you cause a massive amount of destruction, Koltessa's on the outside of the impact zone. She deftly sort of, her check, you saw her just sort of spin around, shifting her shoulders slightly to just perfectly avoid the blast. And this gust of wind goes immediately after her, sending even more shards flying, but only Koltessa's hair and fabric from her clothing
Do I at
was shifted.
least kill this baby cherub? Since it is a 10-foot cone.
It's a 10-foot cone?
Yes.
Do I have to roll anything?
No.
We'll say that... Yes. So...
Yay!
So the shrapnel from the ground that your tail spit up, added with the wind propelling it forward at an even more destructive force, shards just enter and exit the cherub very smoothly, and the cherub just, and this is one of the ones that was getting larger and more bulbous,
Ew.
explodes. The Unagoth next to it takes fire damage,
Oh,
and Koltessa also takes some fire damage.
good.
Roll a dexterity saving throw for that Unagoth, I would say. I'm gonna have you do this.
It got a 4.
Koltessa just grabs some of the flame and just flexes it out of existence, while some sears her arm for...
So I guess it would be an 8 total.
Yeah.
For that
8 total?
Yeah, for that Unagoth.
The Unagoth takes 22 points of fire damage. And I will write that down. Don't worry about that.
I'm gonna, as I'm flying away, I'm gonna be like, I meant to do that. And then...
You're just like, why? You meant to hit me.
And is looking kind of rough.
That Unagoth?
Yeah, as fire is still waning on its form, but still curling across. It's still barely there. Okay, next up is Varkir. So Silnephris is the only one who's not available for this round anymore. If you want to use Quenzel, Spectromir, or the Unagoths.
Can I ask if Spectromir can I want to ask Spectromir if he can basically lock freaking Fabian down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spectromir and Quenzel are frozen. I will see if Spectromir can break. Yes, natural 19.
What about Quenzel?
Quenzel's not up yet. So if you want to use your turn to try and you can assist in Quenzel breaking if you want. You can use your bonus action to do that, but otherwise Quenzel will just be held to a natural roll. But Spectromir comes out and she can assist you lightly as her form is just she has a bonus action, if that makes sense. It was her action to break it.
Can she? But that lockdown move is probably an action, isn't it? So I'm asking, next time, could you lock what do you call it, a hold person or something, Fabian? I guess that's what, I don't know if that's what she does, but freeze them.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Just next time she has that. Next time you have your, I don't know how would you say it, because I would be like, just do that. I wouldn't say next time it's your turn.
I think you would just sort of look at her, and you guys have had a long history together, and look back towards Fabian we need to take this person out, and she will sort of, she'll know what to do. She does respond to sign language, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll go
She starts to take her armor off. Just kidding.
I'll take that.
And then I am going to
Do it.
again.
Coitus with a half orc.
And we will take a quick break after this round. Still got a few more rounds to go, but or a few more turns.
Actually, is that okay? Is that okay to do that? Or can I like put a spell on my sword and not use it until next time to use my 2 attacks with it instead? Or is that?
Does the spell end when your turn ends, or does it end when you use it?
Because it says that as part of an action you cast a spell, you must make a melee attack with this weapon against one creature within the spell's range. Otherwise, the spell fails. So it's like, if I just put it on my blade and don't attack anybody until next time, I could just kind of just boop, boop. Because then,
So can you not cast this and attack at the same time?
I think as it's an action to cast a spell, but as part of the action, you have to hit somebody with a melee attack. I don't know if I can just like stop that and hit him twice next time, like one with the spell on it and one without the spell on it. Because
Do you have 2 attacks?
yeah,
It's part of your action. So if you select to attack, you are casting the spell as a part of your action. What's the spell called?
green flame blade.
Yeah, I think you're just like, as you are attacking, you're empowering your blade with the spell, and you are hoping for the best if you hit them. If you don't hit them, the spell's used, and you throw it out.
I thought green flame blade is just something that you conjure up. It doesn't go away once you use it.
Otherwise, the spell. When it hit the target, suffers the attack's normal effects, and green fire leaps the target to a different creature of your choice. You can see what's range. Actually, I don't think it actually says when it leaves. Oh, it says duration is instantaneous, so.
You have to hit during attack.
Yeah.
The duration isn't.
Yeah, you make a
cast?
weapon, a melee attack with a weapon against one creature within the spell's range. Otherwise, the spell fails. So
Right.
if you literally have to, it's like you have it in Varkir's muscle memory to mutter this
like,
incantation while you're swinging the blade.
So I can't
Like,
be
this is my moment. Fuck.
Okay, so I guess I'll just do it regularly then. I'll just attack Fabian with a green flame blade.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack, and then you have your second attack as well.
Nope, I thought because that counts as an action to cast this.
Oh well, then that's fine.
So 16. Do I get anything for that? Oh, I do.
Since it's a cantrip, I'll let you just use this as one attack. Because you're muttering the incantation, but your actions are the same. So it's like you'd still be able to get out 2 attacks. This would be one of them.
Oh, okay. I guess that's 16 plus 7. So yeah.
For sure hits.
So that would be 2, 8, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17. So that's 20 for the first.
20. Okay.
And then I guess let's see if the second one hits. 21 for the second one.
Both hit.
And this one would just be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. That'd be 12 points for the second one, yeah.
As he's righting himself and still yelling in this triumphant and aggravated cry, like, how dare my own comrade hold me down? You take this opportunity to leap in, muttering your words of incantation. Green flames highlight your blade in this sort of neon green color. You leap forward, and it just cuts through his thigh very deeply, like butter, cauterizing it at the same time as you just see this depression of flesh now in the back of his, of like empty flesh in the back of his thigh, and spin around and stab his next one as he goes down onto one knee from the on the leg that you first afflicted. The second calf sort of becomes available as you attack it, and he is the flames radiating off of his body still affect you, but he's, instead of this almost purely aggressive demeanor that he's had before, he's like like looking around fairly for people to
Sun's getting real low, big guy.
and next up, Crow.
Would you say you attacked at a 10-foot range from Fabian?
No, but
You ran up on him?
yeah.
Alright, that changes what I was gonna do. Wait, sorry. What was the blast radius of one of the cherubs?
It was, roll an intelligence check.
Wait a minute, I actually forgot what green flame does, actually. Oh, actually, so is there somebody within 5 feet of him?
Unfortunately, there is not.
I mean,
That's what that does, I guess. That's weird.
I think I was. If he got up, then I would still pretty much be. You moved him like a square forward, but
I'm sorry. Then, I suppose so.
Hey,
We're talking about
respect's fine. No, it's fine.
What? So if Crow is within 5 feet.
No, it's an enemy. If an enemy is within 5 feet, the green flame will jump to that enemy and do that damage as well.
Oh, okay. Not the case. Crow, you're up.
Okay. I think I'm gonna grab the cherub by its foot, and then try and toss him. Like spin him around and
Dunk him on
throw
Fabian's
him
head.
away from us.
Dunk him on Fabian's head.
No, I rolled a 4 for intelligence check, so I was like, I don't remember how that reacted last time, but and so I'm just gonna try and throw him away from us, pick him up, spin him around, and toss him.
Okay, roll a. Roll a strength, an opposing strength check.
Okay.
Dang.
Natural 20.
It rolled a 19, so you are lucky that this move was not wasted. It's sort of like with its baby legs barely attached to its large bulbous torso. It sort of like twists one around your grasp, and it's like, and then you just adjust slightly and grab the other one that's not moving. He's like, as you. Where are you throwing it?
Away, I think it would be towards your DM screen.
So before you let go, the leg just separates.
Ooh.
And you hear like, whatever that noise is, and the body separates and sails into the mist beyond the sort of ruined terrace that you guys are fighting on. And you just see this light pulse of orange light in the clouds below. They seem very meager in terms of their hardiness. It's like they are barely put together. They are using the cheapest fabric to maintain their presence on this plane.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that was effective, thankfully. I'm going to use my other attack to attack Fabian's backside.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead and roll to attack.
Okay.
Do you want Quenzel or anybody to try and... Oh, I'm sorry. The cherub wouldn't have even put up a fight because it was frozen. So you just grab it and throw it.
Oh, okay. No, I think Quenzel's... No, it's okay. I'm already too close to him, so...
Okay.
He can try and break free of that. Normally. 26.
Hits.
And then I'm going to with my bonus attack, or sorry, with my, I apologize. I'm going to use a key point to try and land another attack on him and stun him. So he'll have to roll
Roll damage for your first attack first.
Constitution saving throw.
Or roll 2. You did hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my save?
Yeah.
8.
As Fabian is on his knees with the green flame sort of curling up him, dissipating, breathing heavily, he's near absent-mindedly observing the battlefield and speaking to himself.
Lord Mar, I will come for you. Nothing will stop my vengeance.
Since the fire starts to reform and re-energize around him, and his fate is in your hands by 1 point.
Wow, great. I'd like to pull out my scythe and give him a clean death.
1,000 years pain.
200 points of damage, guys. Well done. Give him a clean death.
Yeah, decapitate him.
Okay, as he's muttering these, these promises of revenge through near peaceful reflection, you just take your scythe out, elegantly slide it around the base of his neck,
slice his neck
from behind him, just touching his skin, and you with one intense shift of your entire body, just this torrent of flame just leaps from the gap from his neck to his head, just shooting flames up in the air, destroying what was once Fabian's wild mane. And he sort of slumps over, but his
Can I kick him forward? Just so that shit doesn't go towards, in our direction?
Okay.
That's pretty much like that.
All right.
As you follow with your arms.
Yeah. You kicked him with your leg, but it was your good leg.
Okay. As Fabian lurches over his dead form, his body shudders as fire is still spilling from where his head used to be, and you see bulbous portions of his body shift up and highlight with orange flame, and his body near explodes as 3 meandering fireballs start to sort of curl around in the position. 2 go to Koltessa, the third one goes towards you, Herchek. Roll a dexterity saving throw. Colt.
15.
You fail, unfortunately.
No, I succeed. Actually. That is not. That's Path of the Zealot, damn it.
You take 20 points of fire damage. As you just Koltessa's face starts to brighten up as you see this different coloration come from behind you, flame press against your back. You turn around and it's too late, just jams itself into your chest and detonates. Koltessa, the first one, she takes her blue wings and tries to bat it away, but detonates it instead as the flames sort of press against her. And the second one, she just grabs with her own hand, and you see it just disappear. She rolled natural 20 for her second one. So she takes... Hey, good roll. 21 reduced to 10. Okay, so that's Fabian's death. Crow, you did your first attack killed him. So you still have your bonus action and second attack if you wanted. Luna, what's going on over there?
No. My first attack was throwing that chair.
I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
I'm done.
I inhaled sharply.
Okay. Quenzel is going natural 20. Ah! What was that all about? Who did that? Quenzel comes back as you hear him in his sort of typical self. Spectromir is already up. Fabian is down. The minions are up. And one is down. That one is down. Two are down. This one is going to go ahead and attack just try and do the same thing to the queen. And this time it makes it forward as it's enlarging in size, if that's even a word. Yeah, it's getting larger in size. Again, it's like the fire is welling up inside of it as it grabs on. And is it Dende? Not Dende. Is it Dende? Chaozu. As it Chaozu detonates on the Unagoth, the Unagoth automatically fails the save and is going to take... Oh, it's not too bad.
Chaozu! Not again!
26 points of fire damage.
Third time.
Kakarot, as you see. Krillin.
We're gonna get in a fight. What are we gonna do? I'll blow up. God damn it, Chaozu.
This minion is gone. This Unagoth is in flames. Since you guys did not use the Unagoths, they are now up. One is going to come and swipe at Koltessa.
Hey.
Fails as Koltessa, still looking at you, her check, almost in an effort to intimidate you, just moves her head out of the way while keeping eye contact. And you hear this past her. The queen is going to go, and she can only attack Koltessa. She is going to attack twice. Both fail. As Koltessa still looking at you, you see the queen behind her, and your confidence increases. And Koltessa just dips one more time, uses her hand, still looking at you, to grab one of the talons and just throw it off in another direction.
Okay, this is like her third playthrough or something like that.
I
remember these moves.
And now I can do this at any turn, but I just remember on hers. Crow, make a dexterity saving throw.
Will Spectromir know to change her attack to Koltessa since Fabian's gone?
10.
You hear in your mind, and you see Koltessa, from being engaged with her check, fending off all of these attacks. Her eyes, it's almost like her form and eyes are still locked onto her check, but a second one dips out and separates from her and looks at you and starts shifting forward.
With her lazy eye?
No. She has no lazy eyes.
Yeah. Wait, so can I use Cumentus's gift to?
Yes, because you have not used it this turn. So
with that, then can I just roll again? Because I rolled quite low on that dex.
Yes, then you can.
Hey. 27.
I rolled 3 1s and 2 2s that time, so you take 26 points, reduced to 13 points of bludgeoning damage as you see Koltessa break off from her normal form, start running towards you, and before she, from a distance of about 15 feet, she thrusts her arm forward, and it's this straight line trajectory straight towards your normal form. You can grab her forearm right before impacting, sending it off course, and it just nicks your right shoulder as you are, and you feel the bludgeoning force that would have happened if you hadn't diverted it in your right shoulder, as it is numb now, as just the knuckles are barely touching it.
Can we do that thing where my feet are planted, but she pushes me back like 2 feet?
Yeah, sure. As like you grab her forearm, the force still detonates from her knuckles, and you're still in your 5-foot space, but 2 feet farther away from her from the force.
The edge of my space.
Talk on.
And she looks at you before she leaves, and says, "What if I told you he was still alive?" And then shifts back into her body.
Let's talk about Tim.
Okay, back of the round, or back to the top of the round at her check.
Back of the round.
Oh, sorry, you said she ran away?
Oh, she like, yeah.
Talk about doing.
Okay, I'll say if you're using the reaction, that's the only way that you'd get this, because she's effectively like, this is a legendary action for her, and normally nobody can perceive it before it happens, if that makes sense. This is like the split second that her form shows up. So since you saw the whole thing happening and gauge yourself temporally to her level, I'll allow you an attack of opportunity.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Go for it.
$26.
Hits for sure.
$10.
10 points of damage. How are you doing it? With your scythe or your...
I'd like to pivot around and then slap backhand her as she runs back away.
Okay, so with the force of your shoulder being pushed back from her knuckles detonating on it, you use that pivot on your heel and just hoping that you can hit her with her own force. Slap her across the face as she disappears, and you see this line of blue silhouette from Koltessa lead back to her form, and she puts a hand up to her face. Roll a perception check. Her check is you see her now
Just squinting
with
at her.
her eyes break contact with you for the first time and look to the right of your shoulder.
24.
And you see Crow with his hand outstretched,
Right
just
behind
looking at her, doing that,
I sniff.
What was your perception
Really
check?
weird.
24.
Lungs.
There was surprise and delight from being
She
slapped in this way.
likes it.
50 Shades of Koltessa.
Biting her lip.
No. Okay. We will pick this up in a split second in your world. In our world, it's going to be a little bit longer. Thank you for joining us this far, Assassins.
Bye.
Or getting back into it. Welcome back, Assassins, to the final encounter down.
It's the final encounter down.
Skibidoo pop.
Joe. get a fan in here.
All right.
So I can hold it too.
Getting back into it. Wow, I don't actually want to interrupt those.
This is the death parade. You cannot pull from this pile.
I won't. You've out DM'd the DM.
Carnigal's not dead.
2 more cherubs.
God damn it.
Pop up.
I was just gonna yell for Carnigal. Like,
Carnigal, where are you?
How many more cherubs
Climbing up.
does she have?
You get the feeling that they're
69.
they are at it. I'm just gonna leave that. There's just 1 cherub, but I'm just gonna leave that
Oh.
as
They're having a good time.
as a byproduct of
We
random
never split
circumstance.
that up.
As they crawl from you always hear this like perpetual babbling like ascending, getting closer and closer. Only 2 more have added themselves to the battlescape that you guys are now on top of after climbing on top of the ruins through the mist and then using their wings finally to gain slight elevation in presenting their bulbous forms. Herchek, you are up.
Wow. There's a lot of things I could do. But everyone. Give him the old combo!
I can use your glove.
Right back at her.
Use your glove to blow people up. Or do you-
Actually, doing the glove is less damage than doing 2 hits.
Oh.
So metagaming it.
It's like if he was surrounded
misses.
by many.
Second one misses.
Both of them miss. Koltessa loses eye contact with you for but a second to look behind you towards Crow.
I mean, anybody got assassinized?
She jumps out of the way.
It's a cat dice.
I will say everybody can have in this final
I'm using one of
potential
Rummy's,
fight.
One of Rummy's Sasa dice.
Everybody can have a
2.
Sasa dice that they can add. Hold on, you can add it to any roll.
I can add it, like add what I just rolled on top of.
Yes.
So that'd be a 10.
I just kept that one.
I rolled a 10 on top of. We'll
There's
do
already-
the first strike.
He has that one.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, he's just gonna give it
Okay,
to me.
but this is in addition to, so everybody has on their own one. So you can decide to use this now,
I,
or
Yeah,
I will
that's-
be using
that's-
it now.
But I just gave him mine, the extra one I have, so he should still get one.
No,
Wow. That was just.
no, Rummy, you can take yours. I'll just use the one I got.
What?
love
Since we
is
all got one.
what I got.
That's I
I can
guess
sort
that
this
makes, but I
out.
mean, that's but
Well, I mean, you could give me another one so I could, a hit.
if you fail, I will.
I did. I failed both attacks.
What the? I thought you used assassin dice to hit it though. What?
I used, for one attack.
Oh.
I have 2 attacks.
What did you get to hit?
Can I
What do you
try
got?
some of
Well, fuck, well, if we went with that, I would have been just a natural 18.
Just hits.
Yeah.
And so you can use your Sasa dice to literally any roll, damage or to attack, or like add to your DC. Literally anything in the moment.
It's like Coca-Cola.
32 points of damage.
And so, have you used your Sasa dice to
Yes.
do this?
For one attack, yes.
Okay. You unleash both of your attacks in front of her, and she grabs the blade of the Starlight Conqueror and snaps it in one as you
Snaps it in one.
and snaps it in your first attack. As you spin around, she catches it, snaps it. Caught off guard, you thrust your blade forward, what's left of it, and she definitely dodges that.
She broke the Starlight Conqueror.
In this moment, you have changed fate. And as you saw her snap it, you are back to the first point at which you engaged her in the top of this round. And you lunge towards her with your blade one more time, correcting it, shifting around her enclosed hands, and striking across her entire torso from shoulder to like opposite oblique, carving across her chest. Go ahead and roll damage.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. 32. You
Yeah,
said
32.
You yell,
Thank you.
"Bang!"
Bang!
I'll be the bane of your existence.
That joke was already more damage than your attack.
She that was enough for her to sigh and you to have the upper hand and just slash her.
Just do it.
Get it over with. Just come on.
No. Okay. Next up, Fabian's dead. Thunky, you're up.
Oh wait, my bonus action. Bonus action.
Bonus action.
Bonus action.
It was so dramatic.
grapple
I had
with the
to
belt.
see what it was.
Second activation.
Okay.
She-
What's the DC?
15 strength.
She'll natural 19, man.
W
I'm
for
sorry.
weak.
As one of your mythological ancestors rushes out, wraps both of their arms around her, she just headbutts them in the face and sends them back into the ground from whence they came.
Jesus. Aunt Mary!
Thunky, you're up.
I'm gonna fly in, and I would like to claw Koltessa, and then on the opposite side, bite the shit out of her.
Oh shit. Okay, go for it. Roll to attack. I'm sorry, back to her check really quickly. Would you like to use anybody to assist? And Thunky, would you like to use anybody to assist?
No.
That would have been good. I could have asked the wind god to guide my strike.
All right.
Uh,
Roll it.
yeah.
We'll roll another time to see if you'll hit with your second attack.
Okay.
Is-
Why can't I remember her name right now?
Still Nephris.
Nope.
Koltessa.
Nope.
Kunbara?
Yes. No. Spectromere. God.
Spectromere. Okay.
Use your ray of light on this foul creature that is partially a woman.
Okay. Do you want her to roll at disadvantage for whatever you're imposing? Actually, no, you already attacked. So, you can have Spectromere either attack alongside you or like help you get your second attack off.
So I've already used both of my attacks.
Yes, this will be just retconning slightly to.
No,
utilize.
we won't go back to that. I already missed. It's fine.
Okay. Thunky, you're up. Sorry.
I got an 18 and a 19.
Both barely hit.
Good. Okay.
I'm just gonna say that every time, actually.
Me? So her armor class is, just to be transparent, it is 18.
As a mage, that's
A monk
it's
mage.
ridiculous.
A multi-classing monk mage.
Cheating.
Multi-cheating.
Metagaming.
On my AC is 25.
Sorceress monk is pretty crazy.
So 28 points total. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, and hold on a second. I actually didn't read the second part of the damage. Another
special.
9 points, and where did that other?
Wow, Gannon. Again, you're seriously so special needs.
And another 12.
Another 12 points of damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Did Spectromere ever use their move?
Not yet. It's going to come to your turn. And
Oh
then...
yeah, that's the okay, that's the way around. Yeah.
It paused for some reason. Yeah. So as Koltessa is focused on you, her check, as you're unleashing your attacks towards her, what leads to the miss of your second attack is the interruption of Thunky's Lunagale form, as out of nowhere this wind sweeps across you and you see this beak streak across Koltessa's back, ripping some of her Aasimar flesh off and then slicing across with this big, meaty, muscled, taloned arm, biting and then clawing across her, doing an insane amount of damage as this neon red blood is shooting from the back of Koltessa, and she sort of looks at the Lunagale, and she's going to use her reaction to send your second attack. How much damage was it?
12?
12 was the additional damage to the second attack.
9? Was the 3, you remember 3 threes?
Yeah, but I added all of it together, so I don't know which was the first and which was the second.
Okay, what was all of it together? It was 49?
Yeah.
Okay, so 25 reduced to half, 12 points of slashing. We'll say 6 points of slashing, 6 points of bludgeoning damage happens as Koltessa ducks out of the way of the second claw attack and manipulates it in such a way to where the claw streaks across you, her check, and you take 12 points of damage. Bludgeoning, and you're raging, so
raging,
ultimately
so
6 points of damage.
Yeah.
And that damage is taken away from her.
I'll go to claw her, and then it hits you, and I'm gonna be like, ah! And then, like, fly away. Fly back over to that area.
Okay, next up is Varkir.
So does asking the other characters something take your action away, or just take like bonus action away?
We'll say that's a free action in this moment.
Well, then I guess I want to ask Solnefris, like, hey, Solnefris, guide our blades in this hour of need. Remember that time in the forest when we saved you long ago? This is the same enemy. Like, to see if she actually remembers this, I guess. And then I want to run up to Koltessa and try and attack her.
Okay, attack with advantage. As you're running, you feel your limbs become lighter. You feel your stride become faster and guided. You feel your blade, as you're readying it, closing the distance between you and Koltessa, getting lighter, and confidence swells within you. Go ahead and attack at advantage.
Yeah, I just rolled so
You roll that one again. You only rolled 3 times. You never know. You might get a natural 20. You will roll.
I rolled for advantage on both attacks? Or just
Yeah,
I thought just
both
one?
attacks.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Huh.
So it was still 16 at the beginning, so 16 plus 7 would be, and 14 plus 7 the next
Both hit.
one. Yay.
And if you want to impose anything on her, she'll be at disadvantage as you see her body stiffen and solidify. And as you sort of are running towards you, her form and the scene around her are almost presented as 2D. As you're getting closer, her body, the angle of view at her body sort of like shifts in such a way to where you're looking at a 2D screen. Like everything, all of the light around her has been frozen.
Oh, dang.
And yeah, you look behind you, and Spectromir is just holding out her hand, while looking like she's having a difficult time.
Nice one, Spectromir, yes! Oh.
Crow, you're up next.
So it's 20 altogether.
Points of
Slashing,
damage?
yeah.
Okay, you, as you're running towards her, as I said, you sort of like feel this wind caress your body. Your stride becomes lighter and faster. You jump, and you are thrust forward with your blade, zooming towards her, feeling the wind not only press behind you, propelling you forward, but also in front of you, as just the natural wind of the area is crossing across your skin and armor as you deftly slash into her once, crossing her side, sliding across the opposite side of her check, spinning around and slicing her across her legs with a double-bladed strike. Wind guiding your blade the entire time as you feel it increasing your
Honor guide me.
yes.
I
And
will-
20
I will-
points of damage total.
Yes, 20 total. I will mark her as well for that attack. Would you?
That's gotta be successful here.
Okay.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Next
No,
up, Crow.
Okay, bear with me on this one. I wanna work with Quenzel, like turn around, and yell like, wing burst me over there, and then so I'm gonna like, take off running towards Koltessa and then jump in hopes that he's gonna like send a gust my way. I'd like to basically leap over her check and do one of those like downward vertical kicks onto Koltessa, and then capoeira, like backwards somersault out of that, backwards somersault kick out of that.
So 2 strikes.
So that would be my 2 attacks. And then if I land those, and then I would follow up with Drunken Master. No, just kidding. Just two normal unarmed strikes with my hands.
Okay, go for it. As you feel the streaks of wind left over in Varkir's absence from his trajectory of attack, you almost feel a slight tug naturally pull you forward. He's leaping over naturally, not even needing Quenzel's assistance. You spin over, right yourself, pull in your knees for the opportunity to attack right above her as you're about to kick down, and you, out of the corner of your eye, see Quenzel's wings shift in flurry and press forward, and you feel the light touch of the wind condense behind you. Or I suppose above you. Go ahead and roll to attack at advantage for both.
Sweet. You won't get me this time.
You rolled acorn.
He rolled an acorn! We win!
Natural 20.
Natural acorn.
The first one is a 26. And the second one is a 26.
Both hit.
So then I'll roll for the unarmed strikes as well. Not natural 20. Natural 20. That is my last.
Okay,
to
everything
back.
hits.
And I would like to, with that one, impose an open hand technique and try to basically knock her prone. So she's got to roll dex save. Beat 14. So I'll do roll damage now.
Go ahead and roll damage.
So the last one does max damage?
What?
It roll damage and then double it.
Total?
Yeah.
Oh
And then I would say with the natural 20,
my god.
with the natural 20 you'll have automatically pushed her down.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, hold on.
One hefty backhand. Just, da!
Also roll sneak attack damage.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on.
It's 11.
Hold on. This
Math,
is 11?
math.
This is 11?
Yes.
Okay.
some triangles and some lines over there.
No, sorry. It is, oh, wait. 22 plus 22. 44.
What?
Wow. 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4.
Wow.
3d6.
Yes, let the hate flow through you. To get you strong, but give you focus.
Okay, so the math is all fucked. But I doubled it before doing that. So anyway, it's like
Just say she's dead, man.
3 points of damage.
I feel like that's. Is that low for 2 natural 20s?
It's just one natural
it's-
20.
Oh,
It is pretty low though, because I did the math wrong, and I also rolled a bunch of ones, or a few ones.
You got 23
She's
total.
gonna weasel her way
from
out of this
your
somehow. She
last
always
roll
weasels
and
her
from
way out
this
of it.
roll.
Always.
So, you hear Herchek cry out and lurch forward with both of his attacks. Vark here zips forward faster than you've ever seen him before. You feel the tug yourself and add your own addition to the attacks, along with Thunky as well, where the entirety of Oren's Obliterate is converging on Koltessa, and she is doing her best to try and deflect as quickly, yet a little bit not fast enough against 4 different attacking individuals. I'm sorry, like 6 attacking individuals with the Unagoth Queen as well. And you get to a point in her volley of defensive maneuvers where she doesn't even see you come at her from atop. The wind from Silnephris presses you down, shooting your body in a kicking motion, kicking her across her jaw, and you punching her jaw on your way down before you touch the ground. 1, 2, strike, twisting up, unleashing your fury of blows into her midsection. Just after Varkir had distracted her enough to leave her open, all of you are fucking her up right now, and you see neon streaks of blood leave her mouth, her shoulders, her body as wounds are opening up, and she is breathing heavily right now. Yes, that is your guys' attack.
One of those things where you're like punching her so much you slowly just like lift it up.
And then I'm gonna slow down time and do it again. And I'm just basically gonna do like a fury. I'm gonna do unarmed strike. After unarmed strike. So like 2 extra attacks and then 2 fury attacks for fewer blows. Fury of blows. Can't help me with the math.
Go ahead and roll to attack.
Oh. All right, I'll deal with this one.
God damn.
With all the good dice. No,
Wait,
don't
no.
use anything from there.
I got it. Use
That's a
this one.
cursed chest.
Yeah, it is.
It's the mark of avarice.
18.
19.
That's only 8. What's that?
Well,
8 plus 8 is
9
16.
plus 10 is 19. You rolled these 2 as well.
What? No, I didn't. Those are not D20.
Oh,
This
well
isn't
then
D-
where's your other one?
What do you mean?
Didn't you roll 3 dice?
Where are we at right now?
I rolled
in
an
this
18
attack?
for the first one.
Oh.
Okay. Okay,
24 for the
before
second
you
one.
roll any more, roll a dexterity check.
Why is it all of a sudden? 27. I'm sorry, 32.
32.
Yeah.
Okay. With your first attack, as you hear the ticking once more in as a tactile sensation in your mind, and you press that button, and everything slows down, but her. She turns towards you and says, "Finally, a bit of reprieve." And she tries to block your attack by throwing her arm and grabbing your wrist. You clock her across the face before she can grab your wrist and daze her and just unleash the next fury of blows on your of your attacks. Go ahead and roll. Yeah, more. Yeah.
Yeah. These are the unarmed strikes. 23 for the first one.
Hits.
22 for the second one.
Hits.
And then I would like to try and knock her back with this one.
Okay.
I'll knock her up, straight up. Straight up!
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the sneak attack shit on this one too.
Okay, go for it. Roll all damage.
Alright, Minna. Come on, get it. Give it.
I know what you really want.
The fidget spinner.
Death. What is going on over
Wow.
there?
All right.
What's happening over there?
Need a class on how to roll and.
That's the dice tower.
44.
4d4, yeah.
Does she succeed the dex save? It's gotta be a 14. Oh no, sorry, but that one is 15.
She rolled natural 3, so no.
Because she failed the first time, I'd like her. Well, I'd like to, for cinematic effect, like catch her when she was gonna be knocked down, and then uppercut her.
You can also, I'll say you can ask for the help of the Unigoths are the only ones who haven't been used this round.
Yeah, sure. I don't know how to speak to these things, but if they could just opportunistically, when I knock her down, they come in and pick her up with their legs and then toss her into the air.
Okay. Actually, you roll for that.
Unless I add anything to it.
She through the barrage of crow attacks and her moment of equilibrium in the time space with you, where you have overpowered her even in there, everybody sees her shift from one position standing in the midst of all of the combatants around her to being thrust in the air, chest and stomach facing the ground, being propelled upward, Crow underneath her with his fists outstretched is the shift in scene that everybody operating in the normal time space perceives as Koltessa just flies into the air. Unigoths swipe past and down trying to grab her, but she fends them off, almost in this sort of frenzied attacking, I suppose, demeanor, if that makes sense. Like Unagoths are coming at her from left and right. She's just jamming them in the nose, in the face. Get off of me! You have no right. As she's now in a state. Yeah, exactly. Who does Crow think he is putting you right there? Okay, Crow, that is your turn. And she coughs as her last moment at the end of your attack as you thrust your last fist into her as she flies off of the ground. She just explodes this neon red blood across your face, slapping your body and slapping onto the ground as well. And that's your guys' turn. Unagoths were up. All your NPCs are gone. Spectrumers. Okay. How did this happen?
You tell us, Talon.
What's going on
I mean,
back there?
Magnus. Playing
roll-
with your figurines.
Roll a strength saving throw, Mark, here.
Nice.
Saving throw, you say?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
As the bulbous cherub form bats its wings as quickly as it can to just
15?
come straight towards you.
15?
15 is just enough to save as you sort of reel up your sword and smack it away, detonating it. You take
I played cricket.
you take 3 points of fire damage that crosses across your entire body as you bat it away, but not. It detonates too soon for you to be able to mitigate all of the blast. This one is gone. Thank God.
Hey, let him join the death parade.
I'm sorry.
The parade's ruined now that you were involved.
Was this one ever attacked? I totally forgot.
No.
Okay, so
That one attacked the Unagoth Queen.
this one did. Oh, and detonated.
Yeah, one of them detonated. I don't remember which one. I thought the light
think
yellow one was new.
I'm confused. Anyway, this one is going to line up to get her check, Crow, and the Unagoth. All of you roll dexterity saving throws.
Team.
Can you see it, though?
16.
Can I see it?
Make it. Unagoth fails. You can't see it.
Okay.
What is that?
13.
You take 4 points of fire damage.
Ow.
4 points of fire damage. The Unagoth takes 8 points of fire damage and is killed. As the Unagoth
queen?
No, the queen is not killed. The baby.
Baby Unagoth.
Yeah, the baby is engulfed in flames and taken off of the battlefield. I need all of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Again?
As Koltessa takes a breath in the air, you see her eyes close.
So would she use that at a disadvantage since she's attacking more people than just me, or?
For you, it will be a disadvantage because Spectromir
What
is
happened?
still helping you.
What
Like
was
her effect is still in effect.
You can use that as acid dice. What do you mean not yet?
Uncanny dodge. Oh wait. Do I get the uncanny dodge?
You don't, because you used your time.
Ah.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Jesus.
I tried to move the mic away.
It's 18.
20 total. Oh no, I guess 25 or whatever.
Oh, I guess I'll roll one more time just in case. Nope, 18.
18?
15.
Oh, I do it too, even though I'm in the air?
Yes.
Aw. 10.
Everybody in the immediate vicinity around her takes 38 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm down.
As she...
Actually...
You hear the clock,
yeah,
but don't feel the tactile sensation right now. And she displaces her form from everybody looking. As she is spiraling up in the air after Crow's attacks, she takes a deep breath, disappears, and all of you see her form right in front of you with immense pain.
I'm going to use Arcane Deflection. So out of 4 to that 18, I don't know if that'll do anything.
I'm sorry, you make it. Anybody who rolled above an 18 makes it.
I rolled 25.
Oh, shit, you rolled 25? 18, 25, 10, what was it?
15.
15 and 10.
Yes.
Okay, so 38, 19 points of damage to Crow and Varkir. Still 38 to Herchek and Thunky. As she takes this deep breath, exhales, and you all just feel this impact into your sternum as her fist is pulling out meat from your body. Time to teach you all a lesson. I will not be stopped here. Herchek Regentia cannot save you anymore.
I'm dead. I can't hear you.
She's going to attack you.
I...
Oh.
At disadvantage?
At disadvantage.
She's going to lose 2 attacks on her check. That was her legendary attack. She is now going to just attack normally, which she has not done yet. 2 attacks, her check, you automatically fail, and...
Two saves, right?
One
know
attack
she's
is
at
1
disadvantage,
save.
though?
The other attack... Oh.
It's 2 fails.
Okay, so...
You just...
1 attack is 2 fails against you. You have 1 roll on your turn, which is next.
No, you hit me twice, so...
No. She's only hitting you once. Because she can't take advantage of anybody else. So, is anybody else falling?
Relentless Rage?
I already
Falling?
used it
Like, is
a long
anybody else
time ago.
unconscious?
Oh, I got no.
What are your healths?
39.
As Lonagil?
33.
Okay, she is unleashing her second attack against you, Varkir. Natural 18.
I used Arcane Deflection. So now my armor class is 19.
She rolled a natural 18.
Oh. So 18. You didn't say anything plus. So
I said natural 18. All right then. Okay, so you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage and
Dead.
14 points of force damage.
Dead. Already dead.
She's going to use her Fury of Blows to attack you twice.
I'm dead already, though.
Yes, but you're unconscious. You're not dead.
No, now he's dead. You just attacked him twice.
Now, so
1 attack takes 2.
they roll at advantage for their attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna
What's your armor class?
17, but I thought 1. Yeah. So,
The first one hits.
yeah, so I mean, he's up in.
The second one hits.
Yeah, but
So Varkir's dead.
dead though.
Varkir is dead. So unless anybody has healing spells.
No, a resurrection spell.
Yeah.
He's legitimately dead.
I'm dead. Yeah, I have nothing. I'm all that.
So
same
she's
as a
unleashing.
dog.
So as her check falls to the ground, she knocks him in his jaw, sending him even deeper into oblivion. Varkir, with his sword held out towards her, sees her check fall. She spins around at lightning speed, knocks him in his solar plexus, knocking the wind out of him. Lights go dark. Second blow across the head. Third blow straight down, sending him onto the ground. Saying, "Prince of the Reach, you should have known what the angels were capable of. What Barathor did to us." Varkir's gone. last breath leaves him. And that's her turn. Top of the round, her check.
Bye.
Her
I'm
check's
dead.
last breath leaves him.
He only gets one roll?
She hit him, so her legendary attack,
Okay, that's okay. You can say yes.
her legendary attack killed him, or sorry, sent him unconscious. She attacked him with her first blow, taking down 2. Then she attacked Varkir with her second blow and her flurry of blows. So she was at this point feeling very cornered, and she just took out the 2 that she that had that were the best opportunity for her, if that makes sense. So currently you and Luna are the only ones alive. Her check is permanently dead unless you have a spell, and
I'm permanently dead as well.
Varkir is permanently dead as well.
Yeah.
You're both permanently
Unless
dead?
you have
Yeah.
unless you
Unless
have
you have a
resurrection
resurrection spell.
which I don't think you do. So we're dead.
I think I do.
Oh, thought you-
That resurrection.
But it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, I was gonna say like resurrection spells cost like thousands of gold.
Well, it says I have it, but
Unless you
I
can
have to
do
roll on a table to see what you come back as. You don't come back as normal.
Just,
Yeah. You could come back as like
thing?
a random race. Whoa.
really?
Well, this is a
Really?
throwback.
Yes.
I hate you.
Okay, so her check done. Thunky, you are now up, and then Crow.
So even if I do my Gale of Gardens, it's not gonna work.
It will not work. No.
I mean, it'll be you.
What are you at? Are you bad?
You need to heal us up because we're the only ones left.
I'm healing us up.
Spectromir and the Queen and Quenzel are also alive, but
Yeah, but they're outside of the line.
yeah.
We die, the story dies.
Alright, I'm gonna fly down and I'm gonna make sure that within this cone only myself and Crow get hit by this wave of healing.
All right.
What is this?
Cowboy Bebop.
All your party
Oh.
died song. I don't see it anywhere. I don't see that monk move that replenishes.
I think you only get it like after like a level after like higher than level 12.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So we both get 19 points.
Anything with your bonus action and movement, Thunky.
Let me see. Knowing you guys, would I know whether or not you would want to come back?
But we're already that doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're dead.
Yeah, but I could bring you back.
It's only natural.
But it's not. You know what? I'm gonna do it anyways because that's what Thunky would do. Bonus action. I'm coming out of Lunagale form, and I will run over here to Varkir. I'm gonna be like, no, and then just start doing this spell, but it's not actually gonna. Wait, no, this is gonna take way too long.
Yeah.
It says casting time is an hour.
No
We gotta
spell.
We got time. All the turns.
Koltessa, you just fucking wait.
There's no
1
spell
hour.
abilities.
Time out.
Sorry, I read before that it was instantaneous, and I was like, oh, fantastic. And then I forgot to look at the actual casting time, and
Oh,
it was
look,
like
it's possible.
1 hour.
If
It's called
Dende
reincarnate.
and what's his face could do it to Boo.
Strike that. I'm still in Luna Gale form.
You still have a bonus action. You wouldn't have been able to do that because that would be an action anyway, but and your action was to heal you and Crow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do anything on my bonus action, really. So, I'm gonna.
Are you gonna fly back?
Yeah. Do you want me? No, wait, no.
By now.
No, I can't even pick you up. Because that would also be an action. Fine. I'll stand here next to you. I'm there for moral support for Crow. I can't really do anything.
Let me see something. I'm going to see if Spectromere or Quenzel have any.
You know, I'm just gonna say it. They should really advance right now. They've been chilling in the back. And have been judged.
And have been judged.
Okay, yeah, as my
beat.
bonus
Friendship is a
action,
check.
I'm gonna yell to Spectromere and Quenzel to get their asses over here. Get over here! Oh. Not you. You can go back to sleep.
We'll s- Quenzel, what do you got?
This is a song where Spike is falling out of the window, isn't it?
This is yes.
Yeah, this is Ballad of Fallen Angels or whatever.
Ambitious.
And Rich is with his knife, like, somehow. You have a gun, but I'm beating you with a knife. Like, holy crap, okay.
So Thunky, you were asking for help from those two?
Yes.
Quenzel's going to make it like in here as he is you see him take a deep breath as he looks at Koltessa and realizes that he's going to have to sort of skim along her periphery or very much inside of her presence in her sphere of attack to be able to reach Varkir, whom has healed him in the past, has brought him back to life. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like I owe you something. I've witnessed many crew passing, but I've been able to stop some of their deaths. It happened under my watch, but I won't let another one happen. And he casts Revivify on you.
Oh, the same thing. You've been saving that spell, huh, Quenzel. I did it on you to the Incender Force. Now you're just like, this is payback. This is payback.
That's what you say when you first wake up.
Slap it when I get up.
You're a salty bitch.
Why, Quenzel? Or just get a hold of yourself as I wake up.
You have 1 hit point.
Yay!
And you are up now.
Oh, I am up. I have no way.
And you can ask, so Quenzel is gone. You can ask for Silnefris. Yeah, Silnefris, Spectromere, or the Unagoths.
I guess, can I ask Silnefris if she can revive her chick, maybe? She's a wind god, isn't she? Wind heals people, right?
You will get one opportunity to roll a saving throw. You'll come back to 2 death saves, thanks to Silnephris. But that's as much healing energy as here, apparently.
That's from a god.
Yes.
Pathetic.
Thank you,
Does
National
Valiant Vorkir have any healing? No, because you're not a cleric.
No, yeah.
How ironic. The one of death is more useful. So that was, as you feel the wind pass over you, pulse through your body, shifting the fabric that you're wearing currently, clattering the metal together. This wind passes over Herchek's form, and you barely notice the breath pulse over him. So he is at 1 death saving throw. If anything happens to him damage-wise, it'll go away.
Fine.
Yeah. You're up.
No, I want to. I will attack Koltessa, I guess.
Oh
I
boy.
have
You
one. I mean, I
don't
have
have
no
a healing?
I don't have any healing, so I'm gonna attack her.
You don't have any
The
potions?
worst
No,
Vorkir
I
to go into
don't
this
have
battle
any
with.
potions. Well, I mean, wait, when was the last time I used the ring? I think.
You're just gonna dimension door out of here.
Hey, Jurg! Some crazy shit's going on.
Not that ring.
Boy, the world's gonna end.
The Valden ring. The Valden ring.
To heal?
Yeah.
So you know the
Okay,
world's gonna end.
Is that an action or a bonus action?
Okay, bye. I'm gonna go get drunk.
It's, it doesn't say if it's an action or it just says a blood ring that belonged to Valden, the Vox Imperial High Priest of the Tower, bequeathed, imbues.
Bequeathed?
Yeah, granting each ring unique. After
I
every
hate that
7
word.
days, the ring gains 1 more tier of healing energy.
Bequeathed.
Timetable resets after use. It doesn't actually say how to use it though or anything.
Roast beef.
Merci. Merci.
You're the one who said it. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop.
Yeah,
Needs
so
to be
every
wetter.
week you get the below chart, if that
Yeah, but
makes sense.
Is it an action or is it?
It is. Oh, I did not list that. We'll say it's a bonus action to use.
You don't have
Because it's a ring, so you just have to use your thought to activate it. It would not be like 6 seconds of...
I would have to like put it
Now,
in my face,
Volden, I require your healing essence. Flow into my body!
I would have to I would like put it on my lips and like drink the ring.
No, it's just a fast, like...
Isn't this such... You died. You should be dark here again.
Did I take any necrotic energy in that hit?
No, just straight bludgeoning force,
Yeah,
some radiant.
But you
I'd
died.
I'd stay the same though.
But you didn't take necrotic damage the last time
Yeah,
you
I took
switched.
necrotic and I switched. If I
No,
get-
he literally entered a land of positive dreams and came out Valiant
Oh,
Bartakir.
yeah, it's just like all the positive energy just. So I guess can I use that?
The heal,
Yeah.
the ring?
Just I guess 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah. On you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually.
Do I want to heal him?
I'd have to go past Koltessa though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to attack Koltessa twice.
Okay.
So it's 20 for the first one. 22 for the second one.
Okay.
Both those hit.
Both it? Yeah.
Burn, 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 burn. So since they both hit, 2d6 for both. So 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11. 4 and 4. So 8. So 19 points in total for the damage. And since I hit her with an attack, I don't provoke opportunity attacks.
What was
from
your first
her.
attack's damage?
Hmm?
What was your first attack's damage?
Oh, crap. What was that? Okay, we'll just split it in half.
You say it was 19? Or what was it?
Was it 19? So it was 11 plus 8. Not yet, 19.
Okay, 19 points of damage, reduced to 9, we'll say. She uses her reaction to throw that into Crow. And so your 2 attacks as you're running across, she just, as you throw your blade forward to try and strike across her chest, she, quickly than you can realize, palms your forearm away and slashes across Crow for your first attack as you ride it and pierce her across her shoulder, spitting up more luminescent red blood she takes 9 points of damage.
As I skid past her, because now since I attacked her, I have the feat called mobile. I don't provoke opportunity attacks for the rest of the turn. So now I go past her and heal her check, I guess, for 2d4 plus 2.
Okay. Go ahead and roll healing.
2.
Crow, you're up next.
So you get 6 points of health back. Check. You're at 6 now.
Oh, wow. Look at me, dead and still living.
Okay. So yeah, I'm still gonna be trying to.
And
go.
your Humantus's gift has recharged.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go all out and do 2 unarmed strikes. And if one of those hit, then I'm gonna try to. Oh no, that's out. Nope.
Oop.
That there is out. All right. Never mind. If one of those, I'm gonna do 2 unarmed strikes and then another unarmed strike for a bonus. And if any of those hit, I'm gonna try to knock her ass prone. Oh no. I'm gonna try to make it so she can't use her reaction until the end of my next turn.
Okay. Unleash it. As she's, you notice as you're throwing your fists at her, her body is sagging. It's falling to the ground, and she says, "How can the might of a homicidal general and my own be thwarted by you, imbeciles? A joke I refuse to accept." And you unleash the sphere of blows on her barely conscious body.
How dare you? And then do this. I'm going to use my phone because it's easier now. With math and stuff.
Wow. All right. But you still have Quenzel
Sassadice.
and Spectromere and the Unagoths.
Yeah.
Assistance.
So two of those were ones, but I did land one. I'm gonna use the Commentus' gift to use another full action and then do the same thing.
As soon as you hear the and you press that button in your mind, everything stops and this voice emanates from behind you. But this time, everybody is a participant of this sort of time stoppage, as you feel like you have activated it, but it's present without your own addition to it, if that makes sense. So like it happens naturally across all of you. I need to find.
Okay.
So it's like the world.
So
It is exactly like the world.
26 for the first unarmed strike.
You're coming closer to
11
me,
for the
Jota.
second.
To me.
Hits, misses.
natural 20 for the last one. And I will like her to try and, for the second one, I would like to use another open hand technique and try to throw her in the air, shove her away from us. Yeah, and I will be doing my sneak attack damage twice as well.
Okay, as you loose all of these blows, your first one knocks into her, and you can tell from the shift in the subtle nuances of how her body acts that she is unconscious. Time slows down, her body in this arcing feet leaving the air, back facing the ground, chest towards the sky, eyes rolled to the back of her head, paused in this form. Everybody around, all of Oren's Obliterate, looks on at this. Even your allies as well, Spectromir and Quenzel. And you hear, Oren's Obliterate, you have done well. As you see Curtis walking. Oh, damn it. You see Curtis walking off of the form of the Unagoth towards you, more calm than you've ever seen him before, emanating a voice that is unfamiliar to you, yet is very smooth and trusting. His eyes are kind and peaceful. Koltessa's immense power is waning enough for me to intervene. Herchek, Varkir, thank you for your interference in the dreamscape.
Oh.
Tell Curtis thank you as well. Everything sort of flashes white across you all, and all of your presences shift towards Koltessa's unconscious form, inside of her mind, shifting past dark barrier after dark barrier after dark barrier, where you're all of your consciousnesses are brought to a single vision, where the periphery around it is white and the focus is a young girl. In familiar garbs to you, Varkir, as being a part of Barathor's reach. Priestess garbs.
Goodness.
She, with blue hair cascading down her back, finishes a prayer to Barathor and turns to gaze upon her frolicking younger iteration, a daughter or sister of some kind. The form looks younger, similar to Koltessa, and her sister looks like a smaller iteration of Koltessa. The scene fades from you all as you're sort of like pushed forward, and you are welcomed by another scene in front of you. The silhouette of a large being at the epicenter. Pale gray skin with golden bands around their arms, as tall as a mountain. There's destruction emanating from this individual, boulders flying everywhere. You see the form of the priestess and her frolicking sister or daughter in front of her as a boulder crashes into the daughter.
Can I reach out?
Into the younger form, sending her, she just disappears underneath it. A trail of blood lining the now crushed sort of like frost petals that you're used to, Varkir. The older form drops to her knees and starts weeping. An ominous voice appears, one unfamiliar to most all of you. Angels control this world, but they are not in control. And this, at the eminence of this voice, the younger Koltessa's form sort of shifts, as though they had heard it as well. The world should be as we make of it. No. The young Koltessa hears this, the joyous voice of her sister once more frolicking as the scene of destruction before her disappears, the large form causing this destruction no longer in view. Koltessa's face turns from frightened to hardened in an instance, and as the boulder comes crashing once more towards her sister, she leaps to action and destroys it. Walking from the dust and debris of the broken rock, grabbing her sister's hand and walking away. The scene around you shifts once more, pulling you forward, as you see the landscape shift and sort of fast forward in time. You all have your own physical forms here, as a white curtain is in front of you, waving gently in some unknown interior light breeze.
The White Lodge.
Is this, what is that, Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks.
I know not what I do!
I'll acknowledge it. Sorry, so now we can move about? We have reactions in this space?
You have your sense of being about you, if that makes sense.
And there's just a curtain in front of
There's a
us.
curtain in front of you. You see some silhouettes in front of the curtain.
Can we move it
And
aside?
I move it aside slowly.
Yeah. As you sort of like push it aside, you see in the first chamber that you had been in before with Koltessa and the younger version of her, you hear Koltessa's voice. Angels of Melibrius and Terra beyond, I have served you faithfully for so long, and never doubted your benevolence. Until now. Do not think ill of me for this. I can't help but think. What guarantee do earnest mortals have that even at your most vulnerable, you will always protect and guide us? And you see this shadowy figure shift behind her and say, there isn't any. And the shadowy form gets larger, and you start to see the shadows insert inside of Koltessa's form as her sort of bright original essence turns darker and darker and darker.
She's been corrupted.
Um,
Can I reach out for her, maybe? Or
you
would that
hear-
do something?
Yeah, as you reach out, you hear the voice that brought you into this world, familiar as Moriandal's, the guiding dreamer, say, after this day, her actions were not her own. Her mind was poisoned. And at this, you start to see sort of separating in front of you the scene into thousands of different iterations of possibilities that could happen. On the periphery of that, you start to see different memories from Koltessa at Barathor's Reach, beyond, after, start to separate in 1,000 different forms and possibilities in front of you. And the voice of Moriandal goes, the choice is yours.
All these possibilities squandered for revenge.
Killer.
We can help her. If we come on.
So that's the dream realm? We're not there in real life,
So could
right?
is there a
Yes.
is there a point where so can we interact with these dreams, or is this are these dreams that are just that are set?
Glimpses?
So we'll just say that you asked, what can we do now, I suppose? What does this mean?
Yeah,
and Moriandal goes, you can change Koltessa's possibility. You can affect her memory. You can give her whatever memory you desire. You can have her take whatever action you wish up until this point. And you see the entire landscape of her memories before you. You see this birth of the natural world. It's not a traditional birth with two individuals or one individual birthing her. She is literally birthed from the earth. You see her welcoming into Barathor's reach, her ascending into priesthood, servicing Barathor specifically. What is now familiar to you guys as the individual causing such destruction before, the gray-skinned, golden-belted individual. You see the death of her sister, and then you start to see after that point like shifting memories diverging in different orders. As Barkir, roll a perception check.
I would like to do something.
What is perception? 14.
You notice that some of the actions taken after that point are different than her own. You see specific individuals that are familiar to you, members of your house in positions of power. You hear dark conversations that twist their perceptions, and you see many knives in your own back. You see one individual approaching Barathor, mentioning that the Invictari clan has been betrayed by their own. All is lost. The Reach has fallen. Cadius Corvus is on his way. You must do what you can. And you hear this unbelievably deep voice say, "Then I shall activate the mountain's power."
Probably bad idea to activate the mountain's power, but...
We'll pause there. What do you want to do, Crow?
So we still see Koltessa right in front of us?
You see her single form with a shadow silhouetting her in a larger area, and you see emanating from that form in front of you.
The many
Yeah.
paths?
Yeah.
I'd like to...
You can even ask if a path exists that we can explore.
I'd like to move up to her and pull the heart gem out of my head, if it's there, if I can.
Okay, a simple matter.
And then place it in her hand. And then close her like fingers on it. And then I think that would like basically be my life force. So it's really all I can do.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check at advantage.
Let's do it. 19. Daddy. 31.
31. Barkir, as you hear this interaction, it starts to close in on you. Memories of betrayals start to slowly fade away and get confused. It hasn't hit a pivotal point yet, but many different possibilities that end up to where they are now in the darker realm have disappeared. There's only a sliver of chance that what has happened will. Anybody else can sort of explore the memories as they see fit or try and manipulate them if they want.
So I'm guessing she was around in the same time I was around, kind of?
Everything you read, yeah, from this the instance of in the beginning of her life is Barathor's Reach.
Could I like manipulate one of her memories so she actually meets me back in the day and and we talk a little bit about like my ideals, her ideals, things like that?
Would you, so being not one of religion, would you try and talk to her out of it? Because she's a priestess, so she's like all for Barathor at this point.
Yeah, it would be like, well, gods are all great, but I mean, like we could do stuff without them. They're not all powerful all beings. Like basically, yeah, like preach like, hey, mortals are great. Come on, we don't necessarily need the gods, but they're not evil beings. They're just misguided, I guess.
Okay, roll
And that might have,
persuasion
I guess
check
that
at
might,
advantage.
That might have turned her. Whatever. 15. Was that persuasion, I guess? This time, is it the same thing?
Crow, also roll a perception check.
Okay, and I'd like to do something, one last thing before, in the real,
So
when we cut to,
that's 21 for persuasion.
23 perception.
As you're walking towards her, presenting the luminary gem of heart, you hear through many different memories the voice of Cumentus converging on your perception, and you start to pay attention to the different instances and memories being laid about before you, and they start shifting themselves to almost like accommodate your intention. And you see her and Cumentus working on the Atlas Orb together. Conversations of, how can we rid the world of the influence of the angels? Like, I have something for us. I have an idea. A conduit of sorts we can use with our own will's intention, and not that of an arbitrary creature in the sky. And they're sort of like working together, and you hear whispers of Cumentus in the time that Koltessa is engaging with him of a new creation that will bring this realization to life. Crow is his name. I just activated him the other day. He shows great promise. As you're walking forward, you're sort of getting more context towards Koltessa's involvement in your own existence, where like she helped create you.
I myself am set back. I mean, I don't.
At this point, that was just like preface to you putting the luminary gem in her hand, and many of the darker possibilities disappearing. And now there's a sliver of a chance, as I said, that she could do the things that she did. So it's a Varkir, you have enacted your difference upon her, and she meets you, and you can see this change of thought and memories throw themselves in front of you based off of that interaction, where she's second guessing the whispers of this charismatic individual. She is second guessing her own sort of zealousy towards Barathor.
Is there a being in front of me right now, or no? Like a being that all these things are coming out of, or just like it's just coming out of nothing? Like,
you ever since you heard the dark whisper in her head of, there is no guarantee that these angelic creatures will have your own like good graces in mind for their entire life. Since that happened, there was a separation of her memories, or like a more of like a colliding of multiple memories that were not her own. Almost as though a force or entity had forced themselves upon her.
I'm saying it's like, so if we're seeing this collage of like memories right here of all of hers, is there like her body like sitting here, like where all the things are coming out of?
Yes.
Or is it just like,
yes.
Can I like go up to that body and like put my hands on her shoulder and just tilt her head up like, you recognize me? We talked a long time ago.
You've already had this conversation with her, and you've already sort of changed the course of her perception of what needs to be done.
You've been doing okay, but just the ends don't justify the means. So, you right intentions, wrong way to go about it.
This will be your last interaction as Moriano goes,
yeah.
We don't have much more time here. Do what you can, and we can set her on a better course. As roll persuasion check at advantage one more time. Her check.
Natural
Do you
20.
want to do it? Her check, Thunky. Do you want to interfere with her memories in any manner that you see fit?
Nope, I would just want to kill her.
I have a troll version, and then I also have a realistic version.
I mean, the troll version seems like realistic for Thunky, if we're going to be honest here.
I'm gonna take her hand in one of the dreams, and I'm gonna say, "We live inside a dream." And then I'm gonna say, "I need to show you something. You need to come with me." And in this memory, we're gonna go on this really long journey. It's gonna take so long, and we're bonding through this entire journey.
Okay, so
then-
so you're looking for the most relevant instance where you can take her on this journey, like a time where she herself had gone on this journey, and you find an instance where her and Spectromere are holding hands, walking towards this vast vista of possibility, and you just sort of, like, wipe your elbow and wipe Spectromere out of that future, and you put
But was
yourself
was
in
that a
front of
good
her.
memory with Spectromere?
It was a pretty good memory.
Okay, I don't want to take that one.
Okay.
Not that long of a journey. Maybe like we'll cut it down to like 3 hours.
Okay.
Is that why she kissed Spectromere?
Maybe. It's a 3-hour journey. Is
Okay.
there room for that? Where I
yeah.
can overwrite some sort of memory that's not like
Yeah, like after
really
a journey
good?
with Spectromere, she goes on her own for a little bit to work on her own agenda for a bit.
Okay. So we're
And
gonna
she
go on a
meets
3-hour journey.
A whimsical Thunky.
Yeah. I've had some drinks. I offer her some drinks. Tell her she lives in a dream. Or that we all live in a dream. And then I'm gonna tell her, like, I need to show you something.
We all live in a little submarine.
We're gonna
Some
Stop
Twin
it!
Peaks
Stop it! We're gonna drive. We're gonna go for a journey for 3 hours.
You're gonna drive.
And I'm gonna take her to her old family home. And she's gonna get out of the car and she's gonna be confused.
Get out of the
right?
car.
I mean,
Get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
She gets
Oh, wow, what is this contraption?
She gets out of the cart, right? That's drawn by horses because this is D&D. And then we're gonna go up to this little cottage where she grew up in. Did she grow up in a cottage?
You, there's like something else there. There's like a cave, and you just like wipe it away with your hands and draw a cottage.
Like a nice cottage. And I'm gonna knock on the door. And then this woman is gonna open it. And then she's gonna be like, "Can I help you?" And we're gonna be like, "Do you not know her? Do you not know Do you not know Koltessa here?" And it's gonna be a very awkward exchange. And we're gonna be like, "Well, you grew up here, Koltessa. Do you not recognize these people or like this house?" And then we're gonna go back to the cart, and I'm gonna be very confused in this memory. And then I'm gonna turn to her, and I'm gonna be like, "What year is this?" And then I'm gonna turn and look at Koltessa, and then she's just gonna scream bloody murder into the night. And then it cuts back to us just in our regular dream state.
Is this a scene from?
Is that a mind blower? Just no, but take it away.
What is this?
Exactly.
Her mind was blown.
That's
so.
what I want to know.
Ah! Why? They're in,
Okay, alright.
that was
So
season
this
2.
is what is this from Twin Peaks?
It
Is
was,
this the ending of Twin Peaks that you want an explanation for?
No, this is a memory that I implanted into Koltessa's
Okay.
brain.
All
But
right.
then we go back to the bar and we have a lot of drinks and we share stories about our childhood, and then it went better.
Okay.
I apologize to her.
Her check. What do you?
I'm not. No. I'm not
You just
doing
wanna kill her in
anything. I
one?
just want to kill her in all of her memories. I'm not looking to save her.
So you have one final sort of memory shifts in front of you out of disinterest of her past and more of an interest in ending her future based off of what she's done to you, and you see the memory of Crow and Varkir landing their last blows on her, and you just push them out of the way, and you take out the Starlight Conqueror, I'm sorry. You take out the red.
I was gonna
the
say
red
the red tempest, and I just want to hack
and
the
you,
shit out of her face.
And you look at the red tempest, and streams of lightning shift out and connect to points far off in the distance, and they wave forward and slam into the mercurial substance that you have seen once before, that formed the first iteration of the red tempest, and you have a chance to shape the final iteration of the red tempest as you right before you take the final blow on Koltessa.
Turns into a chain axe.
Revving down her entire midsection, just as you shift the mercurial form of the red tempest, like bit by bit, into this form of the chain axe, and just slice down her, laughing all the way, bisecting her. She sends out this dimension-spanning cry of confused yet innocent.
That's the scream that I hear demented. At the end of my memory.
You hear the same thing as you all see this memory, and as the whiteness fades away, and you all slam back together into the material realm, the singular moment that you're all sharing in the real space. Koltessa yells out, blood spilling from her mouth, ah! And she sort of like looks at her chest. It's not bisected. It's just a memory that you implanted on her, and she looks at you with utter fear.
I'd like to, if we cut to that moment as she's flying, looking unconscious, I'd like to use like the last of my energy to lunge forward and catch her.
Okay, she's like yelling, arcing through the air. Things slow down for just a split second as a crow catches her in her dying moments, and she looks at Varkir with this surprised and loving realization, this familiarity between you two.
Recognize me, Von Mar?
I don't know where I deviated, but I'm glad I met you. I think I would have caused immense damage to loved ones around me if I had gone on the path that I went down. And all of you, this is all still happened. It's like just what she has perceived. And she's like looking confused at her chest and taking a deep sigh of relief. She's still going to die, but at least she didn't die by a chain axe.
Can I cure her?
She looks at Herchek with this sensation of fear, her eyes darting back and forth between everybody. Fear to Herchek, like this small sense of hope to Varkir and Crow, and this sense of deep welling confusion while looking at Thunky.
I give her the same look back, like.
And then she does this, like, right? What happened?
I don't know. We need answers.
Can
I cure her wounds?
She's like
dead.
She's super, super dead. You can do something outside of that to try and heal her, but she is. We'll say that she's like, 2.5 death saving throws down. Whatever you got.
What can I do outside of cure wounds? Reincarnate? Can I reincarnate her?
If you cure wounds at like the highest level that you have, it might do something. I don't know.
I'm gonna do it. No, wait.
And she's while Thunky is trying to sort of like pull out different objects and
it doesn't have
focuses
to be this way.
To try and heal her frantically, Koltessa starts crying, and she just says, I have a feeling that I've caused too much harm.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
You can't change
I knew Triandal could rewind what I had done. That's the only reason I had done it. I knew there were going to be sacrifices, but I didn't care. But now none of it is worth it.
Yeah, could I like take my firstborn's ring off from the Invictar and like place it on her and be like, you like what is like you rest well. You All will be taken care of. Relax. Just whoop, cover her hands. Like, yeah. You've done us proud still.
The immense satisfaction of the vision of you chain axing her in half, her check is slowly fading as you're coming to a realization that it wasn't real. You tricked your own memories on that one. As her eyes close slowly. What are you casting?
Cure wounds at the highest, which comes to 18.
What was the highest?
6.
6th level?
Yeah.
Okay. She is stabilized with breath slowly coming back and forth.
If you're not dying, whatever.
I take the
Your ring is still on her finger, and it's clutched and held to her heart. So
all right.
Save her.
I'll tell her to keep it. I'll keep it till I need it again.
Yeah, you feel arcane energy sort of passing through her form from the ring and acting as like this catalyst beacon.
I snap her neck.
Okay. And Spectromere walks up to you all, her broken helm revealing most of her purple orcish face. Faith. And she just simply says, "Thank you."
Oh
my God.
God damn
After
it.
all this
wow.
time.
After I was about to say no.
I'm just kidding. She just says
Thanks,
say thank you,
guys.
but it's in this.
He's like,
Actually, does anybody know Orcish here?
Oh, I don't.
Well, now you know. Spoiler alert. She says thank you in Orcish, and that's as she says it, her armor falls off of her. And light shines, pulses out of her body, and disappears into the ether.
What? She
What?
did?
It's almost as though as she had spoken a word,
Oh.
her power had left her.
Now I'm real angry. So I take the Starlight Conqueror
well, Spectromere was in her thing
and
all
I behead
along.
Koltessa.
Do you? You can decide this is.
So, can we pick her armor
I
up?
won't.
Yes, you can.
Pick her armor. I just want one shoulder paladin of her armor.
Okay.
Wait, you're already looting her.
Her body is gone.
But
Her
now it's
the only
outside.
thing left is her armor on the ground.
I'm
I
gonna-
take
I'm gonna-
one
I'm gonna
piece.
No, her
But
form
I
is
hold
there,
my
but it's
hand
like
out,
it's
like-
like a basic sort of like.
Oh, I thought you said
peasant
she
guard.
disappeared.
No. It's like the power that she was holding disappears. Like
Oh,
her
never mind.
control
If
over
she's
life.
if she's not gone, then yeah.
Yeah, I thought-
I thought you like you said her armor fell off and she just
Disappeared.
she like
One-
dissipated into like.
The Koltessa's feather, as her hair disperses from like luminous, radiant blue, goes to this deep black, and the feather is still sort of rotating around her forehead. What are the last things that you want to do in this scene, as Koltessa is stabilized but knocked out? Her wounds are still very deep.
Can I take that feather and like not put it in her hair, but put it like in her weight? Well, actually, I want to know if that feather was the thing that made her evil or not.
You don't get any sense of malice or evil energy from this feather.
And I just stuff it back in her like. What do you call it? Belt. Like,
The threat of Koltessa is over. I will continue to maintain balance between dreams. Should you need the guiding dreamer, seek out Curtis. And Curtis' form just slumps to the ground as well.
Curtis, the scientist. We'll bring him back with us as well. So actually. Sweet, yeah.
Okay, do you time to fast forward or?
I'm gonna look at everyone and say, I think this is the way it must be.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
And I'm gonna pull out the gem from my forehead and put it in her.
Your gem is already gone, and she's clutching it in her hands.
Oh, it's not. Well, then I'm powering down.
That was
Okay.
the only thing that was giving you power?
Oh, yeah.
You have
I
the
think
Atlas
they-
Orb now, though, so the Atlas Orb should be powering you.
Is the Atlas Orb fire?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was.
I mean, the Luminary Gem of Heart wasn't powering you ever. It was just like, oh, it was
No,
powering.
it was.
I'm
It
sorry.
was. That was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
power
That was
source.
how
I
you.
thought the Atlas Orb was just a navigational tool, not an actual power source. Wait,
I actually I did forget one last line from Moriandel before he goes. He says, Barathor's reach still needs tending to. You all have proven yourselves worthy of legendary deeds. Until the scars of Barathor's reach are mended, the world will never find peace.
We have a
Varkir,
we have a lot to answer for.
It is your responsibility.
I accept. I guess I walk up to him, yeah.
Crow, it will be impossible without the use of Balakin the Beautiful, the black ship beneath Orenbelle. Cumentus had grand intentions for you, and you've only fulfilled half of them.
I trusted my companions to find another power source, but I thought that this was the only way to save Koltessa.
Your husk can pilot the ship. Your spirit can aid Koltessa.
Okay, but the husk is quite derogatory, so let's not use that language. But I know what you mean. Yes. I'm sure we'll handle that.
Right, and now he disappears. Now the body slumps. I forgot about that part. So all of your comrades collect around Koltessa's body. Silnephris, with the Unagoth Queen, who is showing a teal glimmer on the skin of her wings and form now that you hadn't seen before, is holding position behind Silnephris's physical form. And Silnephris says, there is a lot of work to be done to amend this forest. I will never be able to forgive that one over there.
Yeah, you and me both.
Perhaps you could find some form of redemption one day.
One day, many days from now, it may be possible. But until my forest is back as Narhalis created it, I will not be at peace. As we did before, we will defend it and mend it until it is back that way. But until peace finds me and the natural creatures of this floating forest, Koltessa shall never be welcome here again.
Barathor is in your debt. Forever.
Further inspection shows that Carnigal is dead.
Ha.
His hive abomination form has a missing chunk of their midsection that has been electrified and destroyed. You imagine, Herchek, that the death that Regentia was speaking of was not only towards your enemies, as Carnigal's original form lays deceased at the base of the large insectoid Cthulhu creatures. I'm sorry, at the cap of the large insectoid Cthulhu creature's skull. You all can do whatever you want at this point.
We take Koltessa back with us, and Curtis, and Carnigal.
So
Okay.
the ones who are all dead, like Carnival, and is that it?
Carnigal is dead.
That's
No.
the only one, though? Of
Few
the NPCs?
Unagoths, yeah.
Main NPCs.
Spectrum Mirrors is alive, but more of a normal orc, or half orc person wearing regular like garments. Sort of not even carrying any weapons around her.
Does Carnival have any ferrets around him?
Carnival has a collection of dead insectoid hybrid creatures of all sorts around their body. It's almost as though they came to mourn as they died with him.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm gonna lift up his body and be like, "No, Carnival!" And then I'm gonna start casting reincarnate on him. I just really wanted to use.
You guys wait an hour for reinforcements. We'll say that Varkir, if you would allow it, you send a message to Kunbara that some shit has gone down. You've got an update around Koltessa. And in the hour it takes, plus some time for Thunky to cast reincarnation on Carnigal, a few hours later, about half a day later, the basilisks of the Orenbelle Knights fly down. Koltessa on the largest, most sort of majestic one, and adorned one, lands by the majority of the group.
Koltessa, hello.
He comes back as a normal human.
Is that it?
Yep.
Well, that was a trip, guys. I'm glad I could be of help. Herchek, what the fuck?
I kill him.
No!
Do you
No!
really?
The animals mourned him!
21.
Do
He
you
has
really kill him?
much
Do
to
you
do!
do you leash lap?
Koltessa's
happening?
Kunbara's right here.
Do you lash out at him, Herchek?
She's gonna see you attack
He
you.
Why did he come
us.
straight after me, attacking me right off the bat?
You killed him!
I didn't kill him.
He helped us.
Never again will I doubt Regentia's power, Herchek. I hope it was of enough assistance in the final battle against Koltessa.
Yeah, unlike you.
All is well that ends well, and he sort of kicks the form of the hive abomination. It was nice while it lasted. Would have been a hell of an investigative tool.
Am I dead?
Dead? Why would you be dead?
Powered down.
Are you truly sacrificing your
Don't you have reserve
form
battery?
to Koltessa?
Yeah, I mean, I figured that in the continuing sagas they would find something else to power me. It's not like I just need a power source, right?
Yeah, I would say that you, as you pull the gem out, hand it to Koltessa many hours in the past, your form, your breathing stops. As the gem warms Koltessa's body inside of her clutched hands towards her heart. But after a moment of lifeless stability, crouched down, Crow just pops back up in this almost factory reset state of, I am Crow. How may I serve you?
What form of pleasure would you like?
Cubentus. Woo! Anyway, so
16
he
dildos.
reincarnates as a human, gives her check some shit. Kunbara comes down,
Fingers like come down.
and
Come back up as dildos.
Kunbara, the Queen of Orenbelle, comes down and thanks you all for everything that you've done. She looks at Koltessa's unconscious form and says that she will not be welcome in Orenbelle as well until she has redeemed herself in some fashion. As she takes you all back to Orenbelle, she asks of a location for which Koltessa should be dropped off.
Question: is that orphanage outside of Orenbelle, or is it like just on the outskirts?
It's inside of in the walls of Orenbelle. You can try and persuade Koltessa if you like.
Like Koltessa could.
I'm sorry, yeah,
I mean-
Kunbara.
I want to try and persuade Kunbara to like let her stay in that orphanage, like just to help out.
Okay, roll a persuasion
Plenty
check.
of things that have happened to all the
at
kids.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Stay at my orifice.
That's a 6 plus 6 is 12. So. Yeah, so I guess 12.
You are to watch over her at all times. She has done enough damage to the city.
I will
And
watch over her at all times. I promise.
No one remembers her face or the destruction that she wrought.
I understand that.
Her intentions were clear the first timeline.
Yes. She's turned up. I will constantly keep an eye on her all the time.
So will my guard.
Very well. Yes. We'll be. What's his name? Danny? Dave?
Danny?
Dan?
Captain Dan?
Bobby?
Bobby, that's it. Bobby. Will Bobby be there? I'm pretty sure Bobby would get. Well, no, Bobby wouldn't get.
Bobby is a loyal knight. I will assign him there, and he will report into me personally.
Very well.
You all have done a service to Orenbelle and Melibrius as a whole. We cannot thank you enough, though I would have one more request of you, and that is, I'm thinking of rebranding the Orenbelle Knights. Would you all accept official positions in the new official designation for the Orenbelle Knights as Oren's Obliterate?
Yes.
You would all hold positions of command as captains of your own. You would have to pick one general of the Orenbelle Knights. Or sorry, of Oren's Obliterate.
Bartender. Barkeep.
Barsec.
You guys are all... I mean, Barsec wanted a life of adventure, so I'm not sure being a guard totally fulfills that, but...
While they're doing that, can I, like, dress Koltessa in, like, the priestess vestments, since I have vestments in my bag? Like,
Do you have vestments in your bag?
it says I have vestments in my bag.
From Barathor's reach?
Why are you dressing her?
Many thousands of years old, and yeah, Kunbara is just like,
I'm just putting it over her, like, not over
Just
her,
like
like
draping it on her face, like
over her, like, very, like, beat up, bloody clothes. Like, I'm just gonna put some vestments over it, just to cover it up. Like, she's not a bad person anymore. Just carry her in, like that.
Sure, man, sure. As you are, I would say you aren't fully undressing her. And
Yeah, no, I'm not
redressing
fully
her.
undressing
Yeah,
her. I'm
you're
just like cleaning some stuff off and putting the stuff
in that
over
in that
her,
innocent,
like,
almost like old man guardian form of like, this is just good for you, I guess. You are cleaning Koltessa up and readying her. Still, she's unconscious. Kunbara, Queen of Orenbelle, on her largest basilisk, with all of you guys in tow, says, "Do you accept? And who will lead?"
Quenzel goes, I will lead.
Quenzel's dead.
I am
Quenzel's still alive.
returning to Cumentus's lab, where I belong. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah, where's Quenzel?
Quenzel's flying on a basilisk next to you guys. Extras were brought. Never did like living creatures. Flying on them, minds of their own. I can't control them. This isn't good.
That one's name's Nalhalis.
Ooh, wee. Her check.
No, I have other things to do. I'm leaving as soon as we get back to Orenbelle.
Donkey.
I will take on this role.
And she like looks around for anybody else.
Anybody else?
I'm like over here.
Her
like,
check. Are you sure?
hopping, like
Anybody else?
I'll take it.
Varkir.
Please, somebody.
There's more people back at our headquarters.
Anybody.
We have more members back at our headquarters.
Donkey, Orenbelle would be honored to have you lead in their defenses. How did that happen?
Still have Val Ross is still back there.
Yep.
He's probably Oren's Obliterate
The
still.
honor would be all mine, Koltessa. I mean,
Cold.
She like
I
snaps
go
her
like
head,
this, and then
does a
I
full
do
owl
like
spin behind and looks at you.
a bow that's way too deep.
Okay,
Yeah.
Time for
you
Blaze's
all
poop
just
break.
expedite this a little bit faster.
Legendary poop coming in.
1 second.
But while I dress Koltessa, I do take as much money as I can out of her pockets to pay for the to pay for all the damage that she's done.
I will always watch over her, but pickpocket her.
She doesn't
not
need
good.
money. She's going to an orphanage right now to take care of kids and tenants. Okay, she's not going to need a bunch of money.
Okay.
Go really well.
As you guys land back down with your entourage of Orenbelle, Oren's Obliterate guards now, redeemed and reformatted with Funky at the head. In the next
Majestic head.
year of preparation and rebuilding, what do all of you do?
I go search for Humantus.
Okay. You remember seeing in Koltessa's memory, a hint of Cumentus's final destination, and pairing it to what Koltessa had said about him still being alive. And you head towards Bresh, that connects to Aquiago. It takes you a long time, as Bresh is still in... it's still being held by the Denebron forces, although they are being almost forced out at this point, as there are riots in the street. Vool, the guide that got you to the floating forest the first time, you pair up with him and run out a cult of Bresh, and then run out the Denebron forces of Bresh. The cult's muttering something about the ever-living and praising the person who had brought darkness upon Bresh and connected it further to the realm of the undead. Some crazy circumstances happening there, and then finally you had gotten to Aquiago, which had similarly been taken over by the six-horned siblings that you had seen the parchments of. After working with just you and Vool as a almost like tag team operation, as Vool was very much a creature of logic and preparation, you guys had sort of jived together leading up to this point through a series of month-long hit and run and guerrilla tactics on the group that the Six-Horned siblings had brought into Aquiago, which was the Castaway Winds, the bandits that you guys had first encountered on your way into Bresh, with Dust, the guy that you cut the hand off, also of that you guys just ruthlessly murdered, although I would say appropriately murdered, in the ruins. Their headless, their leaderless state had to find new ones, thus encountering the Six-Horned sibling once more. You had only heard about the death of Dust, their previous leader, as you were not a part of it before, as you were like interrogating someone in your guerrilla tactics. Only then did you find the secret chamber to Cumentus's underground laboratory. Seeing Cumentus's sort of silhouetted form, highlit by many different controls and like computer equivalent type structures in front of him, he turns around and says, "Took you long enough." As you see this pure shifting essence in front of him in a similar cage structure to what was found on the deck of Balakin the Beautiful, as well as Fabian Wild's ship, the Smoldering Wake, that housed the power to pretty much power everything. And that's where Crow ends up.
Wait. I'm wearing a bandana, and I have several like etchings in my body, like tattoo equivalents, and I look much tougher.
And with conversations with Vool and dealing with Bresh, which is like a melting pot, you might talk also more like a normal human being at this point, having a more smooth conversational demeanor with every interaction than you did before.
Yep.
Yep.
Cigar.
Thunky.
I go on to be the head of the most successful and powerful military that this world has ever seen, along with my number one guard by my side, of course, Kurikadaphoricious. Bet you didn't think that name would come back to haunt you.
Wait, hold on, what?
You know, the very important person who lives on the second story across from the broken mailbox guy.
Kurikadaphoricious?
I liked his spunk. And I just knew when I got back to town I needed him to be a part of my army.
What was there? How did they? Who were they again?
They gave me some sass one time after we broke that guy's mailbox again. I told him I would remember him, and I asked him his name, and he said his name was Kurikadaphoricious.
You know, Thunky, I don't know how I ended up here, but you know, I'm happy it happened. We've made some great changes, as he's saying, is like Orenbelle is being invaded by bandit forces currently from a lack of I guess militaristic know-how and like security implementation across the whole of Orenbelle.
No, I said most successful and powerful military.
This is the third time this week. Exciting times ahead. Hey there, Thunky.
They're just all,
You
everyone's
have like 5
drunk.
arrows in you.
Yeah, just everyone's drunk off of my
Free
ale.
drinks on Thunky's brew.
We're great.
So what happened to Gruff? Was it Gruff? Your
He ran
significant
off,
other.
Remember?
Ah, yes, okay.
I wrote that down
Crime
somewhere.
syndicate chased him out of town.
I wrote that down. Let me find
There's
it.
no apocalyptic outcome for Orenbelle in this time. It is just a constant struggle of people seeing the now weakened state of the guard from what it once was, or at least the laxed state, and just constant barrages and attacks. Thankfully, Orenbelle has been sort of fortified enough due to its natural defensive capabilities that it doesn't really matter who the leader of the guard, the Oren's Obliterate, is now at this point. It's still an effective strategy.
Oh, no, wait. I found my notes on my estranged husband.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a way to prove it, but I was pretty sure he was embezzling funds from his business at the Fancy Main, but I'm not angry about it since it does pad our mutual bank account. But he's still missing.
Say like the first order of business that you tended to was finding him and arresting him and just taking those funds outright as a dirty guard.
Yes.
As a dirty head of the guard.
Divorce.
Yeah.
I get everything.
Exactly. All right, Kunbara checks in on you every once in a while, but she, through sort of like just historical relationship, trusts you through most of the things that you do. Like, oh, how's Orenbelle doing in its defenses these days? And you're just like,
great.
Yeah, never been better. Wow, oh, the best the history's ever seen.
Explosion in the background.
People are robbing each other in the streets.
He's getting
What a
pickpocketed.
time to be alive.
It was exciting.
I gave that guy that $20.
Her check in the next year. What happens to you?
I leave Orenbelle and Oren's Obliterate, and I go find my tribe, and I take it over.
Okay. We will say certainly at the amount of experience and sort of collection of legendary artifacts that you have achieved over your adventures with Oren's Obliterate, it is a near easy affair.
Near easy.
It's only difficult
Easy.
because
Easy.
it's hard for you to come back to a tribe that could use so much work, that needs to move enough to get on your level of leadership.
I roll up my sleeves,
Yes, you.
which is essentially my skin.
It is a two. It is a 2-round endeavor for you to beat the current chief, who is like a cousin to you.
We can do that as
Your
a
father is lost.
Side story.
Your mother is lost as well to this tribe.
Smelt the
My mom!
villagers.
Ah!
You've taken it over, gained the respect of everyone. The stories that are told even from your belt alone are refortified and strengthen your tribe's strength and battle prowess and resolve and morale. Your gauntlet is revered as a sort of like a tribal artifact for the rest of time. The Starlight Conqueror is something that even members of your own tribe have tried to take from you, and when they've been randomly successful in the past, they've had no idea how to use it. It's almost like something that only Herchek has had any success with, and it's almost like imprinted to you, being a legendary artifact that would be passed down from your children to your children's children. It's a lineage artifact at this point. Pretty much all of Herchek's garb is
It only works for me.
not only works for you, but are like legendary artifacts in your tribe right now. Many different tribes have heard of it, tried to take you guys over, but you, again, just due to your experience and everything that you're wielding, the relics and the experience, the know-how, the memories of the death that you've experienced, just hardens your resolve and emanates throughout the entirety of your clan, and you raise what is the strongest Goliath clan that there is, to the point where the Severed have reached out to you to welcome you into I forgot the Ildfell. Thank you. Where you guys are now honorary storm giants. So you guys now sort of like collaborate and work together around the protection and prosperity of Ildfell. And we will get into... By the way, Ildfell is totally written out. It's a complete place with adventures and whatnot and everything. But you guys just never went back. Incredibly mystical place. Do you seek out the rest of your relics?
I do.
We will get to that at another time.
Where
you leave your tribe in a rare instance. Varkir.
So I guess for this year,
Pinky takes him back.
I would be basically taking care of Koltessa Von Mar with a kid. I'd also reconnect with I guess Valross and just like, hey, yeah, you seem like an Asmar. Tell him my story, get his story, get like probably get caught up on all the time that I've missed in I guess this long time, and try and figure out like a way to reverse some of the things Koltessa's done, and eventually I guess all three of us will try and go back to Barathor's Reach and fix it.
Okay. Throughout the majority of the year, you've just spent finding a place of stability that your mind has never had in hundreds of years. After being betrayed, traveling with Penky, traveling with Oren's Obliterate, now's a time of rest and research for you, understanding the world that you awoke to, understanding the powers, the geography, the different kingdoms, everything that exists around you and how it operates now, as you had known it back then, but it's something entirely new hundreds of years later. You've built a relationship with Koltessa, as you and her have together with Valross, built what is the most successful orphanage in Oren's Obliterate. It is a mansion at the end of the year where the funds from Orexander Bishop are still coming in, even after his departure. And with your adventuring funds, with your know-how, with Koltessa's sort of renewed vigor on what life can be, you guys build something where it's almost as though orphans want to go through. You will get people coming to your doorstep and saying like, "Are you Vark here?
Taking
little
any
one.
applications?
Savior of Orenbelle from the original Oren's Obliterate?"
Not that lofty of a title, but sure. Yes. Come in.
Luckily, it's not dark here at the moment.
What was the name of the kid? Kine?
I
Kind?
think like
Chimera.
something like that.
Kind?
Kine was
was the monk,
the
yeah.
Shattered Peaks.
Hold on,
I straight up wrote down Chimera.
Chimera. Well, that's how he originated. But
so I had
Oh.
Bobby, Chris, Chelios, Melvin, Quenzel.
Wasn't it Kai?
I think it was Kime.
Where is it? Do I not have it anymore?
I certainly don't have it in these notes in front of me. But the little boy grows up faster than you were anticipating. He's in his teenage years at the end of the year. He will have grown exactly how you wanted him to grow, with a little bit of his own personality for invention intertwined. He and Valros have gotten along very greatly, bringing some of the best inventions to Orenbelle, utilizing both magic and the natural means of the world outside of magic. And they are Valros, anyway, is offered a position under the sort of Cumentus scholarship in one of the best artificer colleges in Orenbelle.
Rock here says, tells him to take it. Take it. Do it. You can do it.
And at the end of the year, feeling prepared, grounded, and ready to take on your past, you and Valros, before he accepts his and Koltessa, having all originated in some form or fashion from Barathor's reach, seek out the ancient homeland. Whether or not you find it, we will pick up next time.
Figure out what the Sigmund Divinitus is, or how that happened.
I also forgot to mention, just because I think it's a cool idea, the Stilnephris bequeaths unto you guys Belbanus tree seeds. You can do whatever you want with them. They will take the shape of whatever you envision. They will be at least 100 feet tall, and you can have them grow. You can have them effectively be like a floating island somewhere. This also counts as a beacon for your own personality. So, Herchek, if you were to bury it in the homeland of your tribe, in an
100-foot tall Kunbara.
in a mile radius, you have advantage on perception checks. You feel invigorated. It's almost like a beacon of fortification for you all. And so how those manifest, whether in Orenbelle or at the orphanage or at your tribe, is entirely up to you. So at your tribe in the mountains of the Gragnar Mountains, you have a 100-foot tall organic tree formed.
I was gonna do it in Ilfil. I was gonna do it in Ilfil.
Okay.
Oh, it was Kime 34.
Kime, okay. Kime 34. He has much influence in Orenbelle now and is hailed for his inventive nature. So in Ildfell, they also hail and respect Kunbara as well as you immensely, because they had also done a lot of bad to Kunbara when it happened. They remember torturing her, grabbing her, and in their sort of like demonic state, what they had done. So the entirety of Oren's Obliterate, as well as Kunbara, had freed them from that struggle. And so it is a very appropriate beacon for them. Just quickly around the horn, what are you doing with your tree?
Oh, but I guess I'm going to keep my tree until maybe Barathor is restored, then plant it there, hopefully.
Okay, that's nice.
But also, we still have the beckoning connection, right? We still have
You
a
do, yeah.
connection, like, I just like at the end of the year, like try and like just focus on it. Like hey, so how's everybody doing? Like I'm about to go to Barathor's Reach. What are y'all doing? I don't know. To see if I can just talk to them through it.
And you also have message too. So
I guess
like we'll say every now and then you'll catch up with them to try and understand where everybody's at.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
Alright, we're supposed to respond to...
You don't have to, but
I'll say that every time I what? What? No. Yeah, when he wants my dark here. Varkir reaches out. I hit him up and tell him what Mantis and I are doing. But with the tree, I'd like to erect it in the shape of...
Yeah, you would.
an erection.
Wait, sorry, you said we can control the shape of it?
Yeah.
Giant penis.
You can like whisper your intentions for its growth as it's growing.
Whisper out.
Phallic.
I don't know why, but I want to make it basically an outdoor cave. Yeah.
How is that
Must have-
possible
must
to
have
make an
been some kind of
outdoor cave?
imprint.
I turned this tree.
It would just be a
into
tree
a
cave.
cave.
It's like
So
a
it
giant,
turns into a
It
weeping-
grows
a
upside
weeping
down,
willow?
and like the roots are curling out of the ground like this, and it just descends into a tunnel down in the ground where all of the branching off branches are different tunnels of this cave. So the tree's just grown upside down and is hollow.
Yep.
And now what?
Yeah, is it? Maybe Tim shows up sometime. And we play together.
Playing together. In
You
the
just hear
cave down there.
laughing, like maniacal laughing at the lower levels of the tree.
Donkey?
I would like my tree to take on the shape of the celestial galaxy that Orenbelle is
Yeah, that.
named after.
Yeah. Right above
It's
a,
like
curls
planets,
a mile
It separates
big.
and starts
suns
floating into the
and, like,
sky and just
branches
continually
turn into like cool, rings around planets.
Sure. So your tree grows into what is the sort of new observatory in Orenbelle.
Yes.
Where I have no idea how Thunky would have this knowledge, but sort of like replicates the structure of the galaxy that Terra exists in, and the different constellations of legend are represented in certain portions curling around the central mass of this vast tree.
Perfect.
I mean, like it's like a tree with branches and everything, but it's hollow and like there's fruit or something in there that makes the constellations.
Yeah.
Alright.
Maybe we'll build a large planetarium
And-
on the top.
And sort of like toddlers and their families will come for like a rite of passage.
Only
to pick
toddlers.
Sexy toddlers.
I want to bleep that one out.
Yeah.
As a rite of passage to like pick a certain fruit that adheres to their birth constellation. All right, with that, who knows when we will pick up this adventure of SASAns and Dragons. Koltessa has been thwarted. The floating forest is in recovery. Herchek has his tribe back. Crow is still at an existential sort of crisis of who he is and what he's gonna do with Cumentus.
Crowy place.
Chromie place. Varkir, unsolved mysteries of his past. Thunky,
Extremely successful.
extremely
military
successful as the military president.
Has like a billion.
I'm the
all the
president
medals.
of the military.
It's like at least 300 medals
Wait.
on the
Check this balance,
With my
motherfucker.
military vice president, Coricadaphoricious.
Cricadaphoricious,
with two.
the NPC that walked into one ear of my brain and out of the other. All right, thank you for joining us on this epic adventure, SASANs. It's been a long one, across 2 seasons, 70-some episodes, I think, including the first one. Thank you for any of you, for all of you, the massive amount of you that joined us for the entirety of this.
Thick.
We shared laughs, we shared cries, mainly cries, but it was nice all the way. So,
Except for that one rough patch.
remember to join us
Yep.
on Descent into Averageness in the coming weeks. That will be our new campaign, an official module of... Is it considered a module or a campaign or an adventure? An official adventure from Wizards of the Coast. And we are also using the Beatles and Grimm module, where we have different maps, and they've done an incredible job at providing us a lot of resources to be able to run the campaign in a very awesome, highly produced manner. So, as always, SASANs, thank you for watching.
Until fate.
Until fate next brings us together. And never stop playing role-playing games.
Unless it's.
夜明け生まれ来るものよ決して見失わないで You are you 少女よ今こそ